Our lives are not our own. We are bound to others, past, present, and by each crime and every act of kindness, we birth our futures. Aloha, multidimensional friends, shifters within this holographic matrix. This is Brendan, and you're tuned in to another exciting, inspirational, educational episode of Paradigm Shift Team Roundtable, presented on behalf of ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We got things running across multiple networks here, broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for those of you who are watching this in the future at any point. And of course, if you are watching this on Facebook, just take a quick moment here to be able to jump over to the YouTube. You'll see the link in the top of the video, or just go right to youtube.com/SkullBabylon. Or you can tune into this and any other broadcast at ParadigmShiftRadio.com/live. So of course, Paradigm Shift Central Team Roundtable is all about being able to bring together a team, and I am once again joined by some fellow amazing shifters, some amazing light guardians, some amazing co-creators. So fellow shifters of the paradigms, please feel free to gently unmute yourself and say hello to all the beautiful people tuned into this into the future and live now in this now. There's only now. Say hello, everyone.
Aloha.
Hello.
Oh. Hello.
Go ahead, guys, make some noise. Start off with a little bit of wolf howl. Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Those of the core member team, those of the core member team who are listening to this in the future, we feel you with us. Everybody who is here with us in this moment, like I said, listening to this at whatever moment in the future, be it on iTunes, be it on YouTube, be it anywhere. Thank you for joining in. Paradigm Shift Team Roundtables is all about being able to help document the ongoing story of ParadigmShiftCentral.com, which is a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And we've been doing this project for about 10 years, and part of what we do is by being able to help create a space to be able to help foster the growth of leaders, of people who refer to themselves as shifters, as light guardians, those who are intentionally helping assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion, those who are dedicated to being able to help make a difference in this world, those who are devoted to being able to work on their own personal progression, for those of us who are learning new media skills to be able to help tell stories, for those of us being able to engage with our local community through acts of kindness such as free hugs, conscious sign holding, flash mob meditations, anything of that nature, to be able to help plant those seeds, ripple those waves, and make that difference. So moving into this, for those of you who may be brand new to this project, of course, please feel free to make yourself at home. Thank you so much for being a part of this tribe, to be a part of this opportunity. And here within Paradigm Shift, the purpose of this broadcast, there's multiple reasons to it. It's an opportunity for us to be able to bring ourselves up to speed with the unfolding story. We do the team roundtables once a month. So within that time, you can assume that a lot has happened since then. So myself, other people here within the circle, including Tyler, including Brian, aka Ascended Panda, Tyler being Vibe Shaman, and also our friend Wolf, aka Apothecary Fairy, is going to be talking a bit about what we've been up to in the past month, sharing just kind of our own journey, giving a little bit of a report log from our journals, being able to share what we've been up to in terms of how we've been able to help assist with the shift in consciousness, any art or media, anything related to that nature, to be able to help continue to inspire one another. And by you, the listener, listening to this, the intention is for you to be able to be like, oh my God, these are regular, everyday, normal, badass cosmic superheroes just like me, who are making a difference, who are showing up each and every day with momentum, with intention, with integrity, and just being able to help move things forward by simply being ourselves. And that is the message that we want you to be able to get out of this. So if you are brand new to this project, be sure to check out more at ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Follow the signal to be able to apply for the Paradigm Shift Central core team, which connects you to ongoing broadcasts such as this one, as well as being able to work alongside other conscious media creators and just be in a super badass space of accountability and momentum. And of course, you can check out more at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton to be able to help support with a monthly donation. Thank you again to our Patreon supporters. Sign up there to get your 25% discount code for items at questitemshop.com, including your Light Guardian crystals and also your shift buttons, which you can use as tools to be able to help assist with the shift where you are. And I'm sure some of the stories that we'll be able to tell within today's broadcast will most likely relate a little bit to shift buttons. That's what happens when we start using them. So within this broadcast, like I said, we're just going to kind of use it as a space to gather around the table, to gather here as intention, to be able to be here as tribe, as family, to open our hearts, to inspire one another, to invite all people to this table to be able to help share in the bigger story that is going, the story of our shift in consciousness, the story of awakening to more of who we are, to our potential within this reality, to be able to see beyond the illusions of separation, to be able to tap into our latent abilities as homo luminous, as superhumans, to be able to engage in acts of kindness, to be able to help lead by example and build community and be portals for synchronicity. All that fun stuff that if you're just listening to this broadcast, you're just like, yeah, that's basically what I'm up to too, then thank you again for being up here and being a part of this global team of shifters. And again, our basic objective is to be able to get a shifter in every city across the world. That's essentially our objective. So maybe you're the first paradigm shifter in your location. And if that's the case, please feel free to just even drop your location somewhere in the chat when you get a chance to, either on the YouTube comments in the future or even into the Facebook chat in the meantime. And we'll do our best to be able to acknowledge it there. But if you are watching this on Facebook, again, just a quick reminder to be able to jump over to YouTube. And if you engage in the comments there, then we'll be able to see them more easily and we can respond to your comments live on air. So let's take a moment here to be able to pass the talking stick around and just quickly introduce the people who are with us today. Again, we got Brian, Tyler, and Wolf, and myself being another Wolf, so that's okay though. And from there, we'll basically just kind of say like who we are, our location, and that can basically be it for now. And then we'll get more into the details when we pass it around again in a second. So my name is Brendan. I am associated with Paradigm Shift London in London, Ontario, Canada. And now I'm just going to gently pass the talking stick over to the next person who would just like to quickly introduce themselves, whoever that may be. So either Brian, Tyler, or Wolf, either one of you, by all means, go right ahead. So we'll pass it over to Brian. And Brian, go right ahead, brother. Welcome back.
Hey, I'm Brian, aka Ascended Panda. Live in Central California, a little town called Tascadero. Beautiful little place where magic happens.
Awesome, thanks, man. All right, passing it over, Tyler, real quick, if you're there, or Wolf, whoever's hot on the button. Tyler, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tyler, aka Vibe Shaman. I am in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Beautiful, awesome. Thank you, Tyler. And Wolf, go right ahead. Quick introduction.
Hey there, I'm Wolf. It's my middle name. I go by Wolf, but my first name is Zaya Lithia, or if you want to call me Zaya, that way there's no confusion with the wolf. Feel free to call me that if you'd like. And I'm in beautiful Valley Springs, California, enjoying all of the trees and the dry grass.
Beautiful, awesome. Thank you, Wolf, aka Zaya. We'll probably just bounce back between the two. I don't think I'll get confused if I call you Wolf, like unless I'm referring to myself in the third person. I think that will work for me, but for anybody else, use at discretion. So cool. All right, so we'll like I said, let's go around the circle and talk a little bit about what we've been up to, and not even with the first of all, reminding ourselves that this is just practice. That's a big part of this, and to encourage you, the audience, to again think of this as like a way to be able to encourage and inspire you to practice talking about the ways that you're helping shift consciousness or topics related to metaphysics and spirituality and personal development. So as we go through this, I actually want to be able to kind of weave things together without even trying to tell our full update right at once. So one of the things that I did want to be able to share in terms of some recent stuff that I've been doing in terms of shifting paradigms is to talk a little bit about an event that I was at recently over the weekend, which was an event called the Good Vibes Only Festival. And this was a super, super amazing opportunity for me to be able to connect with other people. And basically what I ended up doing is that I was invited by the organizers, who are all friends of mine, Like this whole thing is just like completely grassroots. This isn't some sort of like big corporation. The Good Vibes Only Festival began from my friend Spencer, and he started them out just as house parties, probably about like 5 or 6 years ago. And the most recent one that we did was presented as a 2-day festival. And again, being called Good Vibes, it was a space to not only bring together like live music and just like awesome EDM and just like crazy art all over the wall, but it was also a place to be able to encourage mindfulness and to be able to create a space for authentic expression. And part of it that was really cool is the fact that the art gallery was actually like majority local artists. So a lot of like my friends, all of us are kind of like our own versions of like visionary artists. We're all artists in some way or another. So it was super cool to have like this like art gallery, seeing all of our art like up on the walls and everything like that. So that in itself was super cool. And again, just kind of give you a bit of the vibe of what this place was. And the cool thing is that it was actually taking place in an old mansion, a mansion that was like built like way back in the day, and then it kind of got left alone for a while, and then a new person bought it, and the synchronicity of it brought together Spencer and this fellow, and things just kind of naturally unfolded from there. But this whole party was taking place in this beautiful mansion with 4 levels to it, like a ground floor, basement, and then actually like up to 3 floors, so I guess five levels, I guess. And on the 3rd floor is where the facilitators for the festival, they actually invited me to just be able to hold space in what we were referring to as like the meditation room. And so basically I was there over the period of about 2 days doing tarot readings and holding meditation space, and also like doing vending for my light guardian crystals and my shift buttons, and giving away shift buttons, and just like being able to talk to people and really get to connect with people. And the tarot readings in themselves were really rewarding. Multiple people were able to just kind of like open themselves up, and even there was like some tears during a few of them. Not even like tears of like pain, just kind of tears of like, oh my goodness, like this is like a meaningful experience to me. So that was really cool, obviously for the people and for myself. And yeah, and it was a great opportunity just to be able to like give out buttons. People would kind of come in and they'd be like, oh, this is a cool room. And they're like, oh, these are some cool buttons. And I'd be like, yeah, if you see one there that jumps out to you, by all means, go ahead and grab it. And then people would get like a complimentary button, because again, being able to have access to the button machine does give me the perk of being able to like help give away buttons at a little bit more of a faster rate than people who are just like ordering them. But at the same time, it was just like super, super exciting to be able to give people that opportunity to connect, and also to be able to sync up with the future event that I have coming up for my local Paradigm Shift London community, which I'll talk a little bit later about after we've kind of gone around the circle at least once. But again, just kind of summarizing this experience here, like it was awesome not only being able to get to dance with my friends, and again, it was like a dress up party. So some of you would have saw my Instagram, I kind of like dressed up as like an elf version of myself, which honestly, it's just me. It's literally just me, in the sense that we're like dressing in, not so much dressing up. And that's where these festivals, which is cool because we're going to hear from Wolf, and Wolf was actually at Lucidity Festival over the weekend, which for those of you who are familiar, that's like where the Journey to Lucidity movies is all about. And so hearing a bit about her experience and my experience, both being at a festival fairly recently, is kind of cool to hear, given that each one was like very unique. And so again, for me, just kind of summarizing, this was a super meaningful opportunity for me to be able to practice holding space as a facilitator, as a leader, as like a meditation guide. Being in that physical space for the meditations was really good. Being able to like just like hold space for people to be able to open their heart, for them to grow, to be able to work with the tarot more. The tarot cards are always like super valuable, because when I do it, I just pull one card, and basically I just kind of say to people to create that intention of show me what I need to see, as similar to how I do it during the broadcast that a lot of you are familiar with. And so that in itself was like really meaningful, knowing that like the right card was always coming through. And just to also be able to get supported by people in my community. Like I made like some decent amount of money. So to be able to do that, where I'm like being reciprocated for my value and my gifts that I'm sharing, and to feel the support of the community, that was really exciting in itself. And yeah, it was just an overall really, really wonderful time. And I got to connect with a lot of amazing people, and synchronicity brought the right people to me at the right time. And I feel that I got to grow a lot out of it, not only just by like being able to practice facilitating and doing tarot meditation, but also just in being able to see like the way how I was just like showing up to be people's friends, even just on the first, even in those first moments, and for people to really be like in that space where them talking to me was meaningful for them. and for them to be able to express their appreciation for like my light guardian crystals obviously got a lot of love. People were just like, yo dude, like these things are like super freaking magical, man. Like you should be really proud that you're like making these. And I'm like, oh dude, thank you, man. Like I totally am. And also giving out free hug signs too. I'll just say this will just be the last part. And one of the things I did with the free hug signs, since I was like usually like we had a free hug sign on the wall, so like the entire room was a free hug sign. But in addition to that, I also would give out free hug signs to some people. And what I would do with some people is I would give them the free hug sign and I'd be like, okay, your objective is to take this free hug sign, go hug even just one person, and then like give the sign to them and encourage them to pass it on to someone else. So opposed to just taking it and just hugging a bunch of people, it'd be like hugged from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. Just as kind of like a little like fun social experiment just to gamify it a little bit more. And multiple people were like taking multiple buttons and giving them out to people at the festival. So by the end of the festival, I don't know, there's probably at least like 50 or 60 buttons that were just like floating around. And again, each one of those buttons is going to link people back to the Paradigm Shift Central website, which is a huge part of the value of the buttons and the tactics of being able to help facilitate and build the project the way it has. So in conclusion, mission accomplished, planted a lot of seeds, connected with a lot of people, and yeah, it was a beautiful experience that I'm happy to share. And the last thing was when we did our final meditation, me and 3 other people, we created like an orb. We did this really cool meditation where we imagined like an orb floating in the meditation room, and we imagined this orb like pulsating, this constant pulse of love. And so that orb is actually like still there right now. And so it's just like continuously just like pulsating good vibes into the space and beyond the space, into the city, into the world as well, so long as we continue to acknowledge the fact that it's there. So that was a cool little meditation to end on. So for anybody who I ran into at the Good Vibes Only Festival, huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for even just being here now, listening to this broadcast. And like I said, I'll talk a little bit later about the upcoming event that I have planned for my local Paradigm Shift community that is officially underway. So that's my update. If anybody wants to kind of like jump in on like any thoughts on that, we can do that before we jump back into like the next person sharing the report. If anybody want, again, just kind of like chit chatting. That's my story, guys. Does anybody want to reply to that? Even if it literally is just like, dude, that's kind of cool. Da, 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 da. Like go for, because I'll hype yours up too. So
I love it.
Tyler, go ahead, dude.
That was awesome, man. We got to talk a little bit about that, I think, like the day after.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's awesome. I would be like super stoked to be them as well. And I love the idea of passing the sign along. That's creative.
Yeah,
It's like pay it forward pretty much, but like
basically
hug it forward.
Hug it forward.
You know?
Definitely. There's enough signs to go around, so like if people will like use a sign, they could always come back and get another one. So yeah.
Beautiful.
That was cool, man. And again, you know, being able to facilitate something like that, super simple but super effective. People love that. People were just like, dude, like this is such a playful thing to be able to like get buttons and do free hugs inside of a house with a bunch of amazing people here to spread good vibes. It was such a beautiful atmosphere. And quick shout out to Free Spirit Living. That's actually Katie, who was one of the people who I was indirectly mentioned when there was 3 of us meditating at the very end. That was one of them. And in the same way, Katie was actually someone who I'd met earlier in the day and gave a button to. So again, like now she's here and she's been tuning into into the Waking Up with Wolf broadcast, as well as several other people as well. So again, like that just goes to show that it works. It works in the same way that for anybody listening to this, if you get shift buttons, which you can, again, questitemshop.com, sign up for the Patreon to get your 25% discount code, you'll have that ability to just like plant those seeds, to connect people, to continue to be able to build those relationships. So yeah, and then another small synchronicity, and I'll just say this, and I'll pass it to either Tyler or the next person who wants to just like jump in with the report. The one thing that was kind of funny is that Katie, who is Free Spirit Living on Instagram as well, be sure to check her out, and in the YouTube chat, she went to another meetup in her city because she didn't live in the same city. She lives like a town over, a little town called Strathroy, and she went to a meetup and she was talking about Paradigm Shift to another group of friends, and one of those friends was actually well aware of what Paradigm Shift was and had been following me for like 5 years, but he had never gotten a button before. So then Katie gave him one of the buttons that in that moment, and it really meant a lot to him. So again, that's just kind of like we're more connected than we realize. So that was really beautiful. And Katie, thank you again, Free Spirit Living.
I love how that comes together, man.
Right? Yeah, Panda, I know we've got a little similar story to that. So Would anybody, if anybody else wants to say anything before we pass the talking stick around to give the next person a chance to log the report? I think that's fine. Okay, cool. Again, thank you again for allowing me to share. So, who would like to go next? Either Brian, Tyler, Wolf, in terms of just kind of sharing a bit about your shifter report log, your quest journal report log, whatever you want to call it, and you can help document what the last couple months have been like for you. So, or at least one part of it. So, Brian, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Perfect. Go right ahead, dude. Thank you.
I started, first of all, I started doing YouTube videos promoting and teaching Qigong and running through some Qigong things so I can share with others how to cultivate Qi and harness Qi and be aware of their energy and the fact that all of our energy is interconnected. I mean, we're just as connected with the trees and the plants and the bugs and animals outside as we are with other humans. So appreciating that. So getting to do that and then opening myself up and trying to kind of recruit, teach people about what we do at Paradigm Shift Central. Everybody I kind of talked to that's even got somewhat of an inkling of spiritual vibe, I just kind of break it down. Hey, and check this out. Check out what we're doing because we're onto something here, and it's amazing to do. And cool little story that just even happened to me yesterday is I was on my way to my qigong class, and on there I was kind of down because I got my shifter package, and I had only been able to give out like 2 buttons up to that point. It'd been like a couple of weeks since I had it. I'm like, man, I'm not getting the right people. And then on the way there was somebody that had card broken down the road. So I got pushing and they were struggling. So I jumped out of my car, me and another guy, and we jumped and we got them out of the road safely. And then from there, I was able to open it up. I'm like, hey, here's some buttons. Check out Paradigm Shift Central. Check out what we're doing. We're doing more things like this where we're trying to show the world that there is love out there. There are people that want to make a change. There are people that are willing to make a difference and do something, and so I was able to do that. And then from there, I go to my class, and outside is a guy I hadn't seen. This guy Sean that I hadn't seen in over 3 years, just popped up to class all of a sudden, and he showed up there, and he just got back from this awesome Tai Chi retreat down in South America. So we started talking about that, and I'm like, dude, you need one of these buttons. You need to get in here. You are definitely our type of people, and that opened up a huge amount and a huge discussion on spirituality. And we go into the class, and my Sifu from the class had been out of the country for the last month. So we kind of been just holding space, and it just had been me and one other guy, this guy Jeff, that really had been showing up to class. Well, Sean obviously showed up, Jeff showed up. We had 3 other people that showed up. So I ended up getting this 5-person class, and I got to teach my first class. So I went from being kind of down about like, oh my God, hey, I'm not being able to do what I want. I'm not being able to spread what I want, to just it blossoming right before my eyes and completely reversing, my feelings, my mentality, and it just put me on cloud 9. It even lasted through to this morning, and I woke up and I was like, man, and a couple of things kind of hit bad this morning. And I was like, oh man, these things are starting to go wrong. Like things are falling. I dropped something, and I'm like, but it didn't kill my vibe because I was riding that and I was holding space for that energy. And I was holding on to that energy from yesterday. And it was just really beautiful. And when you can really start doing that and holding that and remembering and being able to link back. And so when you do have those down moments, you can be like, I'm going to latch into this energy and utilize this to push me through. So it's really cool to do that. And like you said, then we had the synchronicity with a friend, that I have been working with for a little over a year. And I tried to, hey, you should be checked. I think you really dig Paradigm Shift Central. And she's like, oh yeah, I've been talking to Brendan for years now. I've been supporting him. I'm like, what do you mean? Why aren't you on the team? You need to come and join us, be part of these group discussions. So it's really cool how things just, once you start listening, once you start getting in that flow, how things just start rolling and unfolding. It's awesome.
That's, hold on. Okay, I know the people listening can hear me, but Brian can't hear me.
Man.
and I just have to wait for my browser to catch up before I can hit the unmute button so that he can hear me. And he's probably gonna be like,
Thank you. I think we.
he's gonna be
I
like,
don't know if
Brendan's
we
muted. He
lost-
can't hear me.
He lost us, or we lost.
There we go.
I think
There you go. Okay, now you guys can hear me. Sorry. No, I
Okay.
I was totally getting like meta into my commentary where my browser was lagging and I had my mic on mute and I couldn't unmute myself, and I'm like, right now they're gonna be talking about how they can't hear me even though everybody else can hear me. And then it's okay, time caught up with this up. But dude, Brian, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy to be able to hear that. And again, it's like it's a really cool idea just to be able to like step out the door with like shift buttons on you with that intention of just like, who am I going to give them to today? You know, like who's going to come across my path? Like literally, if you're even just giving like one shift button away a day, that could be like one portal to a meaningful conversation, to a new friendship, to a very valuable seed that can get planted and perhaps change a person's life. And maybe it might be your life, you know? So Brian, that's super cool, man. I'm grateful to hear that those are working for you. And again, huge. Sorry, go ahead.
It made me happy. Like I said, it put me on cloud 9 to do that. Just like going from 2 buttons in weeks to just 4 buttons, just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, wow, dude, yes, this is awesome. And it felt good, man. It felt great.
Yeah, man. And I know you got like a couple points on the main website because a couple people like entered your name when they went to the website. So that worked. Like they like followed through and you got like the bonus points there. Because like for anybody, again, kind of part of the gamification now with like the upgrades to the website is like, again, part of the game is you get these buttons. Again, the buttons, like here's like a free hug one. I'll just show it on camera for those not familiar. There's like a free hug one, flower life one. There's like a bunch of different ones. And so they all have the Paradigm Shift Central website on the rim, and they're all like consciousness evoking symbolism and imagery meant to spark conversation, meant to get people's attention, meant to shift paradigms. When you get the button and you go to the website, you can actually direct people or even just let them figure it out, where there's a little part where it says like, who gave you a button? And if you enter or someone else enters your name, then you get like a point for that. And those points like count towards lots of awesome, cool bonus stuff in the future that'll be determined. So, but yeah, man, again, it's really cool to know that things are rolling forward for you. And I think, again, it's just going to be like one of those things where like, the community is only going to grow, the tribe is only going to grow, and I'm excited to see not only the success with like your own personal classes and everything, but even just kind of like seeing what new ideas might pop up, whether they're going to be like some additional meetups or anything. And also a huge shout out for your work on getting your YouTube videos up, man. Like that's a huge milestone. So for everybody here, just go ahead and just give me like a little round of applause for Brian on getting those YouTube videos up. So yeah, I know Tyler's clapping right now.
Feel good, man. They're awesome to do. I didn't think I would like it. I was like, oh, I didn't want to come out of my shell. And then I did that first one, and it's like, it just grew. And it's like, man, then you get excited about it. It's so cool.
It's cool to be able to create something, like even with the idea of just like, it's just like, this is just a stepping stone. This is just like, again, for those of you curious, Brian, he has 3 episodes online, and it's like Qigong with Panda, Qigong with Brian. And basically, again, it's kind of like a narrated tutorial walkthrough video that gives you the valuable tools to be able to help practice Qigong through the convenience of like watching him. So it gives you a chance to like learn it and be able to receive like the expertise of his practice. So that will be, again, as a project's moving forward, some of the things, just to give the audience a little bit foresight on what to be able to expect from the project, we're going to be shifting gears more towards publication on the main website and kind of like using the main website more and using that through social media, and as well as our new Instagram account, which is like Paradigm Shift Central 96 on Instagram. It's like just for the community. You're going to be seeing more of that, and so that's where, including, you'll be seeing like Brian's videos featured. And part of the beauty with social media these days is that like, by Brian releasing those now, again, it's already creating this like catalog. So even if he has like 4 or 5 episodes already in the future, we'll still be able to like publish those to the website and help feature them like in a way that's still going to be, new to the people who are catching them for the first time. So it's very cool to be able to do that with any of our content as well. But yeah, man, huge congrats. And remind people again where they can, like, well, first of all, the easy way for people to be able to find Brian or anybody else in this broadcast is to use the team map on the Paradigm Shift Central website. So you go to paradigmshiftcentral.com, go to the main nexus, like, oh, you'll see the landing page. That's where you like follow the signal and get synced up with the shifter pass if you choose. But if you just go right to the nexus, you'll see the link for the team map. Go to the team map, scroll to where Brian is, you'll see it pretty easily. And then from there is a link to the YouTube, as well as his Instagram, as well as anybody else's. So anybody here in this broadcast, get familiar with using the team map, because that's going to be an easy way to be able to sync into people. But Brian, remind them again, what is your actual YouTube channel name currently?
If you just search Ascended Panda, it's there, or youtube.com /Zen Daily.
Cool. Perfect.
ZNDAILY.
Perfect. And again, Ascended Panda on Instagram as well. Cool. Sweet, dude. All right, Brian, is there anything else you want to share in the moment before we pass the talking stick around? I mean, obviously there's been more has happened over the course of a month, but again, it's
I want to hear what everyone else got. I want to
totally.
There's lots of awesome stories to come.
Definitely. Cool. All right. Well, thank you again, Brian. And Tyler or Zai or aka Wolf, if one of you guys wants to go next, please feel free to do so, and just gently unmute yourself and we'll pass the talking stick over to you. So give it a second there. I think Tyler's like waiting to see if Wolf wants to go next. Otherwise, Tyler's gonna volunteer to go next.
I can go.
Unless Wolf wants to go next. Cool. Yeah, that's
I'm down.
all right, sweet. Cool. Wolf, welcome
Awesome.
to your first official live team roundtable. It's an honor to be able to have.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Sending you beautiful sunset rays of plant-powered medicine. I am in Valley Springs, California. It's really dry out here right now, but super incredible. And I'm just visiting a friend out here and staying for a couple days. My dog recently just sniffed up one of these foxtails in her nose and had to go get surgery. So the past 2 days, I've kind of had that heavy weight on my shoulders, but she's getting back to being more of her normal self. As for an update on where I am with my shiftiness, where I am just overall in life, for the past few weeks, I would say I was feeling pretty stuck and pretty down in the dumps, and just trying to motivate myself to feel better about the dynamic of my living situation, all the things going on around me. And with that, the Lucidity Festival came up, and I got to get that kind of recharge and that reminder of the beauty in life, the magic that's always around us within even the little moments. And so the past week, I've really been just trying to get back into allowing momentum to kind of guide me, and allowing myself to move through that momentum with intuition, and allowing myself to be open to the guidance from all of the beautiful things that are surrounding me. Something I've been thinking about is doing free yoga classes this summer, just kind of opening it up to the little city I live in. It's a town called Galt, and it's very small, and everybody pretty much knows everybody around. So I thought it might be nice to kind of just open myself up to sharing some of my yoga gifts, and doing summer yoga at the park or something, and just a little way to get back to my community and get to meet more people, get to market myself a little bit more, and get my name out there a little bit more, and things like that. And I guess I can talk a little bit about lucidity and share a little bit about my experience with that as well. And let's see. So, like I said, I was feeling pretty stuck, and I really wanted to utilize lucidity and all of the magic that is in lucidity to help me kind of push myself forward, move out of that rut that I have been stuck in for a while now. And so I was planning on going by myself pretty much every year that I've gone. I've always gone on my own, and really given myself that challenge to see like just how far I can push myself on my own, what kind of things I'm capable of doing. And so this year I brought a friend, my best friend actually. And so it was really cool to get to experience lucidity from fresh eyes, from someone who's never seen it before or experienced a festival before in their life, even. So that really like brought so much more of the magic than I ever even could have imagined I would have experienced. And it was just so good to get to experience it with someone who just allowed the magic to just flow with no inhibitions, no blockages, just allowing everything to be just a beautiful experience. And it really vamped up my experience. Some of the wonderful things that we did some workshops on sound healing, different movement meditation classes, and that really allowed us both together to bond and become even closer and get to know each other even better on a less verbal level and more just going with the flow of communication through movement and breath. And that was really a really profound experience for us to be able to connect in that way. We did some drum circles and different like essential oil wizardry classes where we got to use yummy oils and learn more about the herbal medicines that are surrounding us and ways that we can actually make it really easy to utilize these things at home and make them for ourselves even, and different things like that, which was really cool. I love learning about all the different plant medicines that we have available to us. It's something that I feel really inspired by. That's probably why I picked Apothecary Fairy as my favorite name to go by on the social medias. And let's see. We brought a camera with us to Lucidity, and we definitely videotaped a bunch of little things throughout the weekend, beautiful experiences that helped to shift the way that we look at the world, the way that we perceive ourselves. Something that came up for me that I was documenting was my awareness of my verbal communication and how I was communicating with the world just through speaking. When I was at the festival, I was a lot more aware of it. I was like, I had a heightened sense of awareness to the way I was saying things or how I was communicating about things. And I really felt the energy behind each word, or like the effect that each word was kind of dropping like a little drop out. And it was making me a lot more like conscious of how I wanted to speak and how I wanted to communicate with others, because I realized that I kept saying things that I'm like, I don't actually feel that way about myself or about someone else. Why did I say it in that way? And so it really helped me to like bring myself back into that awareness of like how important it is to be aware of what you say, how you say it, and be aware of the feeling that comes through those words, the feeling that's being put out by those words, because it's got a really powerful presence. And so I would say that was one of the bigger uh, things that really came through for me during this experience, getting to have a really beautiful bonding weekend with someone that I'm super close with, and really just opening myself up to reflections and looking at all the beautiful reflections around me and some of the harder reflections to look at as well that came up. I really allowed myself to be present with them, and that felt really good. And I definitely feel like I've gotten some inspiration from some yoga classes that we got to take in the morning to bring to my students. I teach yoga in the town that I live in, and I felt super inspired to bring different kinds of movement, different kinds of cues to use with the students in different ways to kind of talk around or work around things to make it fresh and exciting and inspiring for them. Bringing up the idea of like, how can we show up for ourselves even when we feel like shit and we don't want to show up? What are some ways that are like really small, very even tiny little ways that we can create that momentum? And that's been one of my favorite subjects to touch on with my students right now. So I guess that's all that I have to talk about with all of the stuff with Lucidity. If anybody has any questions or has anything they want to ask, that might kind of bring some more stuff up for me. But I guess I'll pass the talking stick here and leave you guys with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Wolf. Yeah, it's great just to be able to hear about Lucidity. Not being there, obviously, for the past couple of years definitely gives me a little bit of homesick feeling, I guess, if that's the right term. I don't know. I'll get back there eventually. It is my intention to get back to Lucidity eventually. And just for context, it's actually really cool. So Wolf and I actually met at Lucidity the last year that I was there. So I was filming, even just with my buddy Jesse Carrier, and he ran into Wolf, and Wolf actually knew of me beforehand because she had seen Journey to Lucidity, which was like part of her inspiration behind going to the festival. And then she saw Jesse, who's like this tall warrior guy who some of you would recognize from the film. And then eventually he ran into me and he was like, yo, this is like Wolf. We met and she wants to be in your movie. And then so by the time Journey to Lucidity 5 comes out, which is obviously going to be a little bit in the future because I haven't released number 3 yet, which will be released in time. It's just a matter of being able to allocate the time while managing the rest of the project. But that is going to come out at some point, and so you'll see Wolf in there, and that'll be like almost like a prequel film to whatever else has happened between now and then in the meantime. And again, for those of you who are not entirely familiar, be sure to check out more of Lucidity Festival at lucidityfestival.com. Again, this is an annual festival that happens in California in the area of Santa Barbara or Ojai or Santa Ynez. And it is an amazing transformational festival. And again, for a lot of people, these transformational festivals may be something that they've never really experienced before. You know, maybe people have been to like bonfires or like pagan full moon ceremonies or something like that. A transformational festival is a very, very powerful container that, again, has like music and workshops and vendors, and you're sleeping there overnight and you're underneath the stars and you're just around friends, and there's a lot of play, there's a lot of novelty, there's a lot of amazing teachers and open-hearted people there, a lot of cuddle puddles. I was actually kind of curious if, Wolf, if you could maybe even just give us some particular highlights from your weekend of Lucidity, if there was like either some sort of particular workshop you went through, something that perhaps you like felt was like a really, a transformational experience, or any sort of like sound healing ceremonies, or any sort of like little moments that you would be comfortable sharing, just to, again, kind of give the audience a little bit of a trip to the festival with you just through your story. Wolf, would you like to share anything else if you have more to share?
I would love that. That would be awesome. Let's see. Something that was really healing for me was I've been a dancer pretty much all of my life. I love to dance, and like I said before, I just been really stuck for a while, not in my flow, not able to move, just not even able to dance and allow myself to express in that way that heals me so much. And when I went to Lucidity, we did a sound healing, which they had like these beautiful big gongs, and they had these giant crystal healing bowl singing bowls. That's what they're called, the crystal singing bowls, and it was just incredible. And we all got to lay in a big circle together, and we did the sound healing. And after that, there was a flow movement class that came in after the sound healing. And so I was just feeling so refreshed and so ready to like experience the day. Great way to start the morning. And then so we ended up staying for this movement meditation class. This was kind of the thing I was talking about previously, where you get to communicate without verbal expression, but you're flowing with a partner with breath and movement. It's like almost like yoga and dance combined. It was just a beautiful flowetry, I guess, without words. And it really, once I started getting in the flow, especially experiencing it with a best friend, it really allowed me to just like open that center within myself once again and find my flow and just really allow myself to open up. And that was super powerful for me because I had felt stuck for so long and not even able to move myself and get those centers open and really gaining that momentum. It really was the push I needed to allow myself that openness and to let go of the veil that makes me feel like I can't push myself through, that illusion of incompetence that we get stuck in, thinking that we're not enough, or that we can't do it because of whatever reason that life wants to bring up or throw at you, those aspects that make you look at the contrast. I really got to push through them and move my body again in a way that has really brought me back into my body, brought me back into myself, to where since I've been back from the trip, I've just continued that flow, continued allowing that energy to just be cultivated around me in little ways, bringing in plants and setting intentions into stones and different things to keep that energy flowing throughout my space. And it's really been pushing me through the week and pushing me through challenges in my life that are really tough right now with my living dynamic, living with so many people and family and a bunch of stuff going on, trying to find a new job and really get myself moving forward. This energy that has been cultivated from the festival has really helped me to move through that contrast in real life with the eyes of magic, and with that fresh eyes of looking at things from a beautiful perspective of everything comes to help us to grow. And I think that that's what lucidity is all about. That's the kind of message that that is trying, or not even trying, but that is being created and that is being a space that's held for, is that idea that life itself is the magic. Every day is the magic. And once you start planting the seeds, and they will grow, and you'll start to see that all of this beautiful stuff is surrounding you to support you, and you just have to be aware of it and awaken to the fact that you are the dream, dreaming the dream. Going back to all of this beautiful, dreamy magic stuff, I think it all ties in together so beautifully and so perfectly. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to share with you guys my experience and share with you guys about what lucidity really can be for someone, just to go, what you can take from it and what it can really do to transform your daily life. So thank you for this opportunity to share.
Awesome. Thank you again, Wolf, for sharing, for that report. Yeah, super amazing to be able to hear again just about the success and the impact that lucidity is continuing to make on people's lives. And again, for those of you who are a little bit curious, be sure to check out lucidity.festival.com. And as well, you can also look up the Journey to Lucidity movies on YouTube. You can go literally just look up Journey to Lucidity on YouTube, or you can go to paradigmshiftcentral.com/movies and you'll find Journey to Lucidity 1 and 2 online, which again is like a documentary that I've made over the years that brings you through the experience of the festival, that brings you through that journey of the dreamer awakening to the dream. So it's a very, very different style of documentary. So if you just want to get a feel for it, then know that those movies exist as a gift for you to be able to experience the love and the magic that these festivals are incubation spaces for. So again, super amazing to hear, and a huge shout out to all of our friends at Lucidity Festival for helping bring it together. And I was just curious, Wolf, if you're familiar, I'm not sure if you know who Jamaica Stevens is. I'm just curious if she was there this year, and I'm curious if you happen to see her, if you know who that is. Do you know who Jamaica Stevens is? Like, she's in the Journey to Lucidity movies as kind of like the mother goddess figure, if that narrows it down, if you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do know who you're talking about. I believe either you or Jesse introduced me to her, but it was very brief. We didn't get much time
Yes,
to chat, so I didn't really get to know her at all. But I believe if she has a baby, I believe I saw
she
her
does
there
have a
with
baby
short
now.
hair.
Yep.
Yeah, she's got short hair. I
Cool.
think she had a baby in a stroller, and I briefly saw
Aw.
her very quickly, but I wasn't 100% sure if it was her. So
Yeah, fair enough,
it
fair
looked
enough.
a lot like her. So
Cool. Well, I literally just curious because again, she's like super, super special woman who I'm sure a lot of people love equally as much as myself, and it was just cool to be able to know that she's still there and she's still rocking it, and yeah, shout out to her. She actually had a baby since like the last Journey to the City movie, so that's super cool. So awesome. But yeah, Wolf, thank you again for sharing a bit about the Lucidity Festival, and I'm sure even just you talking about it is going to inspire people to either check it out for themselves or again find something similar to Lucidity Festival near you. There are festivals all over the place, these transformational festivals, and again, they are synchronicity portals. They're a great place to be able to meet new friends and connect with deeper parts of yourself and to really be inspired. And of course, if you happen to have shift buttons and free hug signs, well, they go hand in hand. So definitely. All right, let's pass the talking stick around to anybody else. If anybody else actually just wants to even reply or just express gratitude to Wolf for sharing a little bit about Lucidity Festival, and again, just for my own 2 cents or my own 20 cents, my own paradigms. It's a new joke here going on. Yeah, Wolf, I just wanted to be able to acknowledge you like showing up and moving through your own just kind of discomfort, your own kind of like resistance, and just being able to like be aware of that and understanding that like sometimes getting up and moving and dancing and just like getting ourselves into that space where we're just like expressing ourselves without even having to overthink it, like such a powerful thing. So huge thumbs up on you just being able to again like show up through those challenging parts, but to be able to receive the medicine in those moments. So good job, Wolf.
thank you so much.
Awesome. Cool. All right. And did Tyler or Brian want to jump in? I think, yeah, Brian, go ahead when you're
Yeah,
ready.
no, I definitely wanted to thank Wolf for that. That's awesome. I didn't realize, that festival, that's only, a couple hours south of where I'm at. So it's like, I definitely want to check out next year after hearing this and hearing your guys' story about it. I think it's
Did we temporarily lose Brian there for a second? I'm just going to keep talking until he comes back. Brian, are you there? Can you hear me? I think we just lost your microphone. I think we did. Okay. We'll check back in with Brian if he jumps back in a second. Tyler, just do a quick sound check for me and passing it over to you. Is there anything?
It's like it's a feeling of.
Okay, go ahead. Tyler?
Is my sound coming through?
Now it is. Yeah, you're good.
Excellent. Okay, so
Go ahead.
basically, I think it's always great when you can get through that tough rut. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that that festival was able to kind of do that for you. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome. I definitely have piqued my interest in it just from hearing your guys' stories.
Definitely. Well, maybe next year we can all meet up there. So
I like the sound of that. I
That
like
would
the
be
sound of that.
awesome.
like honestly, that's kind of been one of my plans, is to kind of like go back to Lucidity Festival, and then when we do, it would basically like, I don't know, have some sort of like special paradigm shift camp or something like that. So
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
we
Might
start
as well.
planning now.
we could
You
do
plant
our
that
own
seed.
workshops and have lightsaber training and stuff. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So
That'd be awesome.
definitely. Cool. All right, Wolf, thank you again. And of course, if there is more stuff that we want to share, we'll have time for it. We'll keep passing the talking stick around. This broadcast is going to be like less than 2 hours. We do have a couple other people who may be jumping in later in the later half of the broadcast. We may be hearing from Chima, and we may be hearing from David. And I'm going to give a shout out to David in particular for one of his videos that recently went viral. Stay tuned to find out which one. So we're going to pass it over to Tyler. Tyler, if you would like to take the talking stick and share a little bit about what has been unfolding for you in the past month, what progress has been made in terms of your own personal development, shiftiness, or anything else that you're doing to be able to help lead the way. Tyler, go ahead.
Well, in a month's time, I have joined this lovely shifter squad. So from just that alone, that is a huge deal to me. And just to be a part of this movement and just here with you all is like, seriously, it's just magic. I don't know how to describe it other than the word magic, really. I mean, how we've attracted each other into this zone is just proves everything we've been going through this far, you know? I mean, a few decades of life can be so insightful and so shifting, you know, between each group of 7 years. You know, they say the body changes every 7 years. I mean, wow. Going from, you know, kind of what we're all raised in certain constructs, you know, and breaking free of that is a miracle in its own nowadays. And just to be able to constantly work on myself, work on my community, work on the structure of my family and keep them intact. I mean, it's really just been a blessing. Everything I give, I feel I receive. And that is just amazing. And that's kind of been a new thing, is being accepting of what I receive. You know, there can be times where one might feel unworthy, or it's not even that, but certain traumas in life can just have you feeling that way without you even putting words to it. And it wasn't until I had a few qigong sessions done on me that I was able to realize that. Had some chakras diagnosed, and this would be a year from then. So since then, each month has been ridiculously powerful. And here we are approaching the warmer months. I just feel super activated. I mean, I've had my winter months. I think a lot of people's winter months can be tough. Just trekking through that and getting to where we are is something to celebrate, you know? Next month, I have a 4-day plant medicine retreat that I'm doing. And I've just been preparing myself slowly. Jazz music intensifies, okay? I mean, I feel ready. I'm ready for it tomorrow, but it's a month from now, and I'm just cleansing my body so that I don't have to, you know, they say the more you train, the less you bleed in battle, right? Well, I feel I can call myself a warrior here on this mission, on this planet. And, you know, sometimes there's blood. Not to preach violence at all, but sometimes we bleed internally, right? And I'm just really looking forward to going back a year later. I did this, by the way, this plant medicine, believe it is related to ayahuasca, about a year ago. And I'm stoked to be able to do it with the same people that are welcoming me back. Very lovely group of people, which I'm also learning some healing practices from as well in June. So we have a big lineup here coming up in my own self-development, and I'm just stoked. um, I've been passing out some shifter buttons. I actually got to get some more. Had some success in my local malls, just passing it out, having a few, even kind of well-known businesses accept them, like Spencer's Gifts, Hot Topic. Not that these are just places, but I find that these are the places where, at least in my area, in Woodbridge slash Manassas, the greater Prince William County area here, a suburb of DC, that's where you're going to find those that like to think outside the box. And those were the places that were willing to do this and support, Brendan's movement here, which I feel an honor to be a part of. And I can say it's kind of, I guess it's now our movement. We're moving together.
Indeed. Sorry, dude. I just want to. Can you tell me a little bit more about like when you went to Hot Topic, and you're like, I have a button. What did you like? What did you say to Hot Topic? Right.
That was great. There was two awesome people there working at the time. They are used to people soliciting. So yeah, their first questions were, what are you selling? And I'm over here just all smiles, calm, and that was kind of freaking him out. I guess sometimes calmness, they say the calmest person in the room is somebody that you got to just keep an eye on. I guess that's me. And I had nothing but good intentions there. I think it was a little, earth shaking for them.
Yeah,
they feel
you're just so different. Yeah, you're just so different, right? So.
And thank you, man. I take
person
pride.
with
I
good
love
intentions. What
yeah, right.
That's impossible.
Psychopath.
Anyway.
Yeah, man. And they just were loving it. I was just telling them exactly what we're doing here.
Cool.
I mentioned Mystic Spider-Man, and the movement of free hugs, and they just thought that was awesome. Had even warmer reactions, honestly, at Spencer's Gifts. I think it was the manager that I got to speak directly to, and she was just telling me about how even Spencer's got started. Of how it starts on that level. It always should start on that level, on the people, on the ground. Like, I mean, you don't really even have to ask. You give, and you will receive.
That's cool, man. So that makes it official. Paradigm Shift Central is now officially recognized by some manager of Hot Topic, Spencer's
and
Hot
intrigued
Topic?
Hot Topic
and
as well. Yeah.
Hot Topic. Yes, we get a medal for that one. That's an achievement unlock. So
Spencer's was willing to totally put up our handles on their little chalkboard.
That's crazy.
Which I thought was awesome, and also tape some of my buttons on there for people to just randomly take.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I know again, I saw like somebody submit like one of the information things for the button code on the website. They said they got it from I think it was a smoothie place in the mall or something. Somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere
Chocolate
that you gave
smoothie.
it to.
Yeah,
something
that was the other
yeah.
My other target.
So it worked. It worked, man. You just like leave these places, and again, like it's a beautiful thing to think about the fact that for some people, it's going to attract the right people to it because there's kind of like this metaphysical code imprinted into each button. And then for some people who may be entirely new to some of like the metaphysical stuff or even just the inspirational conscious media, it gives them like a huge catalog just to begin exploring. And again, it could even tune them into this broadcast or take them to the team map and you get a message and you're just like, hey, dude, I found a button and we're in the same city. What's up? So
oh yeah,
that's how it works. And that's how we build community, which again is what we'll be talking about. This is what we're talking about now: the importance of community and how we do that. You know, in today's day and age, like how do we build community? So we'll talk more about that as we go on. Because again, for the people listening to this, we want you to be inspired to know that you can take action where you are every single day in little small ways to be able to help plant those seeds and build community and bring people together. So, but Tyler, go ahead. I want to see just what else you have to share. And I did just want to be able to touch base with you. I know you've been going for a lot of nature walks, and you've also been kind of like using that as an opportunity to also create like some of your content for your new Vibe Shaman Instagram page, which I think is super awesome, dude. And definitely just encouraging you to keep practicing and keep playing around more with that, man. But maybe just talk to us a little bit about even just I know the other day we were chatting off air just about you like getting the old like bow staff out and just kind of taking that into the woods. Again, little things like that are honestly, somebody's going to be listening to this and they're just like, yeah, I need to get my bow staff out too. So tell us a bit about the bow staff adventure if you want.
Oh yeah, I have this little spot that's like it's like this. It's not really my spot. It's totally like on public property, but you know, it's actually where horses kind of walk by. There's like this little lake I found a while ago. So I was like, hey, if I'm gonna be twirling this bow staff, you know, I'm gonna go near the water because I resonate with water, being a predominantly fire and earth sign. You know, I like water because I've been raised with around a lot of water signs, which has been quite a challenge. But bow staff, martial arts, commit to one form. I mean, you can commit to many. I mean, it's beautiful just picking up this weapon that was used actually. There's probably a few different. I'm touched by the Okinawa story before, you know, Japan came in and took over. You know, some of the farmers there would use it for like, you know, they'd have a plank of bamboo. I believe it's called rattan or something like that. Oh, it looks like it's about to form the word rattata, okay? But it's like a form of bamboo that they would hold water bills on, and at a moment's notice, they could just boom have a 6 foot staff and be able to defend themselves. So, and I'm a person that is more peaceful than anything. But just going out, looking crazy, coming out of my car with like this polished. I don't even know what it is. It's a type of hardwood, but good Lord, I'm like trying to just sneak it into the woods over here. I look like I'm smuggling like an umbrella. I look like I'm about to transform into Thor, you know? But yeah, I've even have like walker bys. I didn't even know people went past there, and you know, and they're asking me, "Hey, did you go fishing?" I'm like, "That's an interesting topic, but no, this is just a bow staff here." Just great to get in that flow. You know, I've been practicing some of Panda's videos that he's been making. They're awesome. Just been feeling the energy kind of flow through me. Bringing it, you know, he says bringing down some of heaven's energy, and also like releasing, breathing out, releasing. This is a huge deal, and it's been very powerful. So I'm like grasshopper to Panda's Zen movement here as well. So fellow wolf pack, fellow Zen Panda movement. You know, I just feel great, really.
Definitely, brother. Especially when you infuse that chi into the bow staff next time you do it. Just let it flow and you infuse it into it. It's an extension of your body. It's killer, man. I love that stuff. I love hearing that. Beautiful.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing. You know, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
And being able to be out in nature, I get it like inspired by like a little bit of flowing water. So I'll take like a quick 30-second video and take that into a little editor. I've recently just been doing that. Looking to improve for sure. But it's really awesome, kind of some of the things I've been able to do. It's like blowing my mind, you know, kind of reassuring myself as well. I might be part warrior, but I also believe I'm part artist as well. And being able to like let that flow is a big deal, you know. Every artist should express themselves, you know.
Yeah, it's been cool. Again, just for context for those listening, check out Vibe Shaman on Instagram for Tyler's account. But there you'll see like, yeah, and I recommend this for everyone to literally just like practice playing with their apps, with their editing tools, with their filters, figure out what each filter does, and then just kind of like get creative, you know, just like take the paint and just kind of like put it on the canvas, see what it looks like, try it out, play around with it. And yeah, it's been cool to see you doing that, man. And it's just like starting to open up new doors from you. And again, like in the next coming month and stuff, we'll be doing like more collaborating and kind of like helping each of us kind of focus a little bit more on just kind of really polishing off things and getting some cool content online. So yeah, man, they're like even for your own practice, it would be worth like even getting a little bit of footage of you practicing bow staff at some point, like once you're ready for it. And then
Oh yeah.
eventually, once we get you a lightsaber, then you can film your own lightsaber videos too, because
Oh,
that's essentially the plan. Is like every member is gonna have like a lightsaber at some point. That's part of the plan. So
if I could take the fighting style of Darth Maul and have the integrity and moral compass of Mace Windu,
uh-huh,
oh, that's it. So I'm looking for a double purple staff and just unleash
do it, do it.
righteous fury. Okay.
Yeah. For anybody who's like literally just like, I want a lightsaber right now, I recommend checking out ultrasabers.com. So that's again, that's where I've got mine, and that's where you can get the custom. You can get like the special hilts that attach. That's where I have like the double sided lightsaber that can like detach and reattach. So yeah, and for anybody who's listening to this, when you sign up for the Patreon, once we're above 200 active supporters, that's when we'll start be doing the free giveaways for lightsabers. That's like part of what we'll be able to actually support within the team. So sign up for the team Patreon to get entered into the raffle draw to be able to get your possibility at winning a free lightsaber down the road. And stick around long enough, and there's a good chance that you'll get one. So but yeah, Tyler, that's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that again. You just like really being able to develop this routine, creating that consistency, creating that momentum, and again, just like having that target of being able to work with the plant medicine in the future. No doubt that's giving you a little bit of something that's just like, you know, you're working towards it and you know that you're earning it. So keep doing it, man. And like that day is going to be here sooner rather than later. And you're going to be there and you're going to be like, oh my God, like I'm so proud of the work that I have been putting in over these past couple months. And the universe is just going to like give you such a beautiful gift once you arrive in that moment. I mean, every day is a beautiful gift, but man, that's gonna be like a really, really special present to be able to open up on that day once you've really gotten there in like a way that really feels good for you, you know?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
May
that
I share one more thing?
I yes, go for it, please do.
Just to add some balance to this, because it is not all flowers, you know? Um, on the other side of things, I recently just had a year anniversary, right? That's all of our birthdays. I call it a year anniversary, right? This
Yes.
is a year
Happy
past.
cosmic birthing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. For me, I look at the last year and what I have done, what can be done next year, what have it's like a total review for me. And with that always comes a little bit of a down time. Yeah, I could have had a great year, but there's always a little down for some reason. Um, and with that, this year was about my job. My current job is kind of like a counselor in a way for some youth in my area. And, I wasn't quite sure if I was being utilized to my full potential necessarily. I kind of felt a little stagnant. And then even just today, my every question I had was answered. I met with my boss and was able to kind of just unleash. There's also a little bit of family drama that's ever present, unfortunately, but that's my life challenge has been kind of family working through that. And we're doing just fine. We're doing just fine. We're getting through it. And the best thing that could have happened today was a little bit of reinsurance with work. And because, I felt like I needed to move. I'm one that is okay with change. It frightens me too, but I'm okay with it. And I feel stronger after making that decision. But what I was given today was a preview of this one book that I'm going to make my whole course with some of my clients, it touched upon the importance of breath and body work into psychology, and I was just mind blown. This whole time I've been separating the two, uh, and today I found unity with that. And my own boss, who is, not quite on our journey here, but we're all on a similar journey, us as human beings in general. But she's coming from books. She's coming from the West philosophy of psychology, and to hear her implement some of the things that I'm interested in, things that we're interested in, and something as powerful as being able to address trauma being the number one cause behind so many of not even our young ones problems, but some of our older, developing adults, middle-aged adults, um, even beyond that, there's a lot of people still working through their trauma. And I just was given a tool kit pretty much today. And I just feel so thankful for that. I just feel reaffirmed. Like I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, even with some struggle. So couldn't have found paradise. That's what I call it, paradise. Shit, it is paradise here, honestly. Paradigm Shift Central, okay, is has been awesome to be a part of.
Dude, that's wonderful to hear, man. So basically, like, you've leveled up your abilities as like a counselor, like coach, kind of mentor, through being able to learn a little bit more on how to be able to like help assist with those who are processing through like their own trauma healing. Is that my understanding? Just reiterating.
That's right, man. That's right.
Cool, man. Super, super important. And that's actually an interesting like synchronicity, like for myself, like as someone who does like coaching and stuff like that. Like that's actually something where I'm just like, yeah, like I want to be able to invest, to be able to expand my skill sets so that I can like get better at holding space for people, and in
Hmm.
particular into like the realms of trauma and stuff. And yeah, like I think there's resources out there, so maybe that can be something where we can talk a little bit more about that off air. Obviously, there's like some stuff in there that can be a little bit more personal, but again, I think really just supporting the idea that like here within the project, for anybody here, we're really like holding this space where each one of us can be some sort of leader, some sort of facilitator, some sort of healer. And as much as it's valuable to have to be a trained psychotherapist, and understanding that like that in itself has its credentials, because if we're working on like holding space for people, we have to know like what our limits are, right? Like we have to acknowledge and be like, okay, like I can go this far, but I don't have the training to go much further than that. But what I can do is just acknowledge the fact that like I am a compassionate person. I am a compassionate being. And sometimes, when it comes to holding space, it's really just being able to like listen without judgment, and being able to acknowledge someone for their strength, for their perseverance, for the positive step forwards that they're making. But yeah, dude, that's great to hear. And again, like just knowing you as a friend and stuff like that, I'm sure that it's without a doubt that you've made an impact on a lot of people's lives who you've been able to get in contact with. And I know that that's just going to be something that's going to continue to unfold and get, again, kind of like you said, kind of reflect on the idea that it's like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it's not just about my path, but it's about like how I'm actually playing a role in other people's paths as well. There's Tyler, but then there's other people, and the role Tyler plays within their life as well. So thank you for showing up, man, and being a support, especially for the local youth, and even just anybody in your area. Super important, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Tyler, that's we can pass the talking stick around a little bit more if anybody else even just wants to like reply to anything that Tyler said. You guys are more than welcome to. If there is anything else that you'd like to communicate, Tyler, or even just like kind of reflecting on any intentions that you might have for this coming month, any sort of like media things. Again, this is for anybody. You guys are welcome to communicate that. But yeah, this has been a good month. There's been a lot of progress made within like within the Paradigm Shift Central community and with the project. And again, it is kind of a thing where I'm okay like taking things like slow and steady, But at the same time, I am very pleased with the progress that we have been making here, and the connections that we've been making with the core team, and all the branches that have been reaching out from that. So huge props to everybody involved, and I'm excited for the next couple months as well. Let's Brian, go ahead. I saw you unmute yourself. Jump right in, man, if you want to reply or add in anything else.
Yeah. I want to say I thought it was awesome that he chose the balance of Darth Maul and Mace Windu. Perfect balancing, light, dark, because that's what it's really about. And knowing that you need to embrace both sides, it was just awesome to have that paradigm in there and that freaking comparison. I just thought that was really cool that that's how he chose. And I love the fact that you threw the Star Wars reference in there, because who doesn't love that, right?
Thanks, man.
Totally.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Did my audio is coming through, right?
Yeah, it's
Oh
good.
yeah, definitely.
We hear that.
All right. And yeah, you just intention. I just plan on making more videos, expanding that too. I want to maybe do some Q&As, do some different meditation things. I actually am going to be working on one that my friend that I met up with, Sean, that taught me, that he learned down at that retreat down there called Inner Smile, which was really cool. He was passed it on to me last night, and I'm like, oh man, I need to make a video and share that with people, because it's really awesome, and it just gives you that good vibe, that good feeling. You just emanate light from within. So be looking out for that video coming up. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see if I can get it edited and posted.
Awesome, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, and again, like for the people who are within the core team and elsewhere, it's always beautiful to be able to just like have your camera handy, and to even just like get like a few minutes of people just sharing a bit of their wisdom. Because what you'll find that everybody has something they want to share, has some sort of wisdom that they want to be able to pass on. So just for anybody here, if you have a friend who maybe is already like facilitating or teaching or something like that, it might not hurt just to be able to be like, hey, like if you were to say something on 5 minutes or 10 minutes worth of video, like could we do that? And then again, like that could be a little clip for either IGTV or your YouTube. And again, just kind of getting you into the flow of what it means and what it feels like to be a reporter for the shift in consciousness. Again, that's like a big part of what the core team is about, thinking of ourselves as gonzo journalists, neo-gonzo journalists for the shift in consciousness, documenting your immediate experience as well as just like the overall collective experience of the shift. So yeah, Brian, that's really cool to hear, man. I'm happy to hear that, again, things are just like moving forward with just kind of your natural impulse to be able to work on things video wise, and I'm sure just being able to get those few so far under your belt is starting to even change the way that you like think about the creative process. Because now that's kind of the thing, is that with the teachings, it's basically this idea that through the video editing and the skills related to that, it gives you a channel for that creativity to flow through. Whereas before, you probably wouldn't even, not just you, but anybody, you wouldn't even think about interviewing somebody because that wasn't within your skill set. And now suddenly you have that skill set. Now suddenly you become like an ambassador and an archivist for the collective thought process of people who you meet. So, Brian, go ahead if you want to reply.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's total snowball effect. It started out small and it just grows and grows and grows bigger. And every time you just get more and more confident, and more and more things open up to you. And it makes you feel really good, and it makes you feel really positive, and you start seeing things, and then you start getting replies on things and people talking back and commenting, and you start interacting, and you are opening up your world. It's just great. It's fun to be part of.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much to all the core team members, to all the community members who are tuning into this, who are being a part of this discussion. I wanted to be able to just kind of like shift things into the theme of, again, like facilitating community events and what that can look like, and what some of you might be working on as well in terms of being able to create community events. Again, I know Wolf was talking about like doing some yoga stuff, and that's kind of, again, we can just kind of chit chat about that. I'm going to tell you about an upcoming event that I have for the Paradigm Shift London, Ontario, Canada community. And as well as we also have another event coming up for anybody near Paradise Valley for the Paradigm Shift Phoenix, which is like, I guess it would be Paradigm Shift Phoenix, that is facilitated by our friend Brian, who is he's not here right now, but he will be around at some point in the future. You'll definitely be able to hear more from him. Before I do that, though, I did just actually want to be able to just take a moment here to give a huge shout out to our friend David, aka the Angry Hippie. He has been making a variety of videos, which again, you'll be seeing posted more through the Paradigm Shift Central website in the coming future. One of the videos that he made was like a mini documentary, about a 50-minute documentary called The Awakening of Gaia. If you look up the Angry Hippie on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. And a huge congratulations to him, because his video has actually gotten like over 100,000 views in the past like 5 days. So a huge little round of applause for David. Good job on that, dude. Super, super awesome. And again, he's been making a lot of content that has been reaching a variety of people, and this one in particular just like really caught a nice kind of viral wave, and it's got some very, very cool important themes in it. So again, check out the Angry Hippie on YouTube, and you can find his new video, The Awakening of Gaia, and go check it out and leave a comment and let him know that Paradigm Shift Central sent you. So the other thing I will just mention in terms of upcoming events, this is the event that, again, Brian is helping facilitate, and this is Brian's second event that he is facilitating for, again, Paradigm Shift Phoenix, if that's what we're calling it. You can find Brian on the team map, and if you want, you can send him a direct message through his contact info there. The event is going to be this coming Saturday, so that is going to be February 27th, and it's going to be at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the local standard time, and that is going to take place at Lookout Mountain Park near the Canopy. So if you would like more specific directions, just go ahead and send Brian a message if you happen to be in the Arizona Paradise Valley area and you would like to be able to sync up. So I just want to take a moment here to just give like a little round of applause for Brian for being able to organize that, because again, this is only his second Paradigm Shift meetup that he has done. The first one that they had was on Easter, and I was chatting with him about it, and he said it went really good. There was about like 4 people there, and he said that the conversations were just like really impersonal, really personal, really inspiring. People there were like meeting for the first time, and it was really just like good feedback for people to be able to be in that space. And again, for those of you who are a little bit new to the project, what we do is we encourage people to create the physical Paradigm Shift meetups where they are, or call it something else. For example, his event, he was calling it Soul Sunday, like Paradigm Shift Phoenix Presents Soul Sunday type thing. And so really encouraging you to be able to create these events and keep them quite simple. So for his, he's just doing an open-minded discussion and meditation circle. And again, I was telling him that even just inviting people to bring books to the event is super helpful. Having it out as a community park, making it free for everyone is a super inviting way to just be able to allow people to connect and to, again, allow people to practice talking about the things they don't normally get a chance to talk about, to be able to connect with other like-hearted people, to be able to have these consciousness shifting inspirational discussions, and to be able to use these meetings as a chance for us to be able to like recharge our spiritual batteries in a way. That's like one of the valuable things of any sort of community event, and we've definitely been experiencing that even just within our online tribe, is that by constantly just being connected with each other, we're constantly just like having our batteries like charged off the collective momentum that we are creating together as a core team, as a bigger community as well. Another thing I'll just mention real quick before I mention what my upcoming event is, a huge thank you to everybody who's been tuning in for the Waking Up with Wolf broadcast. That is worth mentioning because we've been doing that for almost 2 months, I think. We started, I guess, in like mid-February, I think, was when we started it, and we've almost been doing it consecutively for all this period. And yeah, you guys can still hear me, but they can't hear you, but I'm back. You guys good? All good? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, okay. Anyways, so just finishing on my thought there. Again, the Waking Up with Wolf broadcasts, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday. Those have been going well. Thank you to everybody tuning into those. Thank you for everybody receiving the benefits of doing those. If you're new to this, be sure to check it out on Instagram or on YouTube. You'll find the recordings on YouTube as well. And another thing that I did just want to be able to plant the seed for, because just in terms of being able to explore a variety of tactics, I would totally encourage anybody else to replicate the context and the concept of Waking Up with Wolf in their own way, to be able to try it their own way, where like literally, you know, like you could literally have like Waking Up with Panda, or Waking Up with Vibe Shaman, or Waking Up with Wolf, who would be the other wolf. And I did just want to be able to like run that idea past you guys, because I would totally love to be able to like create the opportunity where, you know, if there's like some days where I'm just shifting my focus onto a couple other things, but we still want to be able to create the routine in the broadcast where I would be able to lead people ahead of time and just be like, all right, guys, for tomorrow's broadcast, it's going to be waking up with Panda or someone else, right? And then just be able to like redirect them to that person's channel. Anybody here on the fly, on the spot, how do you guys feel about that idea, and would you be up to the challenge? If anybody wants to jump in on that. Panda, yeah.
I'm all about that. That'd be sweet. Yeah.
Totally, man. I mean, that's right up your alley to begin with, man. A little bit of like waking up with like some qigong with Panda type thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That would be fun. That would be great.
Awesome, man. Sweet. Well, definitely, if you feel called to even just kind of like try some trial runs first, and then when you feel that like you're in a position where you want to like give it a shot, let me know, and we can try like passing it over to you. And it doesn't have to be like right away, but yeah, just and it can be like even at a different time. It doesn't have to be right at the same time, but in some way or another, I do encourage anybody here to kind of like create that routine of having some sort of live broadcast, either just like literally just through their Instagram or through their YouTube. Having it broadcast through YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, there's a little bit of a tricky way to be able to do it, but I'll be able to teach the core members how to be able to do that, where you can rebroadcast your Instagram to your Facebook and your YouTube simultaneously. But it involves having an Apple iPhone. So I'm not entirely sure if you can do it with Android. But yeah, Panda, I'm happy to hear that you're excited about that idea. Tyler or Wolf, would either of you guys, how do you guys feel? Again, just kind of the idea of just kind of doing some sort of inspirational broadcast that's like a bit of movement and a bit of meditation. Again, you've seen my Waking Up with Wolf. You know what I'm talking about. Could you guys see yourself doing something of your own variety at some point in the future? How does that feel?
Definitely. I think that it is a wonderful idea. I have a YouTube channel and I post on it like a couple videos and then I get out of the flow, and it's kind of something that I have done inconsistently. And I always come back to like, oh, I want to come back and make videos. I want to keep making videos. And one of the ideas, I have a whole whiteboard on my wall with 20 million video ideas that I want to make. I haven't actually made them. And one of the ideas that I have is a series that I film at least once a week called Chakra Talk, where I have a glass of tea in the morning in my little sacred space that I set up for this, intentional video, and just discussing different things about the metaphysical or like energetic properties of reality, and just discussing whatever topics come through. Some of my ideas of like chakras for kids, and how to teach children about chakras, and meditation for kids, and just like different little things like that. And I think that would be something that would be really good for me to implement and to start doing, kind of to keep myself in that routine. And I would love the idea of bringing in meditation and movement, like maybe the first 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, the first like minute of the video could be like breath work, and then the first 2 minutes could be movement with breath or something, and then like a 5 minute discussion or something like that. But I love the idea of bringing in movement and breath with that as well, and starting that and actually implementing that and creating a series, because that would be really cool. And I really like the inspiration that this whole joining the core team has been bringing for me to really create more content, because I do have platforms, I just don't post on them consistently. And joining the Paradigm Shift team has really inspired me, seeing everybody else's content that they create, and just being able to check in and discuss with everybody about what we're creating has really been inspiring me to want to take the time to actually make the content and the media to post. So yeah.
Awesome. Yes, that's wonderful to hear. And again, I think that's kind of the idea, is that like for anybody here who's looking to be able to develop their skills as a facilitator, as a leader, as a creator, the fact that you have like a YouTube live or an Instagram live, and the fact that you could literally create your own show, is a great opportunity for you to be able to get like free training on the spot simply by doing. And that's the thing, like as much as when I do Waking Up with Wolf, there's multiple reasons why I do it. A, because like for myself, even if I was just doing it not as a live broadcast, I would benefit from waking up and doing some meditation, doing some exercise, doing some chakra practice meditation. That'd be valuable just on my own. But the fact that I can like do it while sharing it with people, that creates their opportunity to be able to be part of that. And plus, me doing that allows me to develop my skills as a facilitator, and also like my on-camera identity, my on-camera personality, which is again just me being my authentic self. So I get that more of that familiarity, and it's understandable for people to be like a little, just a little nervous about getting in front of the camera, and that's why I think it's one of those things where you just kind of do it as an investment for yourself to kind of like push through that little uncomfortable thing. So for anybody here, if you're listening to this and you're on Instagram, maybe you just think about like a one, even whether it's 5 days a week, I don't know. That's pretty, like if it works with your schedule, by all means. But even if it is just like a 1 day a week thing, and just to have that routine, have that consistency. And again, if you're like already connected with me on Instagram, please feel free to let me know about that. I'd love to be able to hear more about that and to be able to help support you in doing so. And so I did just want to be able to check in with Tyler. Tyler, what about you, man? If you were to are you up to the challenge of doing some sort of like waking up with Vibe Shaman, or some sort of adventures with Vibe Shaman type outdoor thingamajig? Could you bring us on like a live? Could you do a live feed like up in the forest with you doing bow staff spinning? Is that an option?
Yeah, that'd be awesome if I could. I tried to pick. I sound like a commercial here. America's Best Network, but sometimes it
Depending on the
has
signal.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I would love that, and even other ways, even just waking up and doing what shamans do. I do like to do a little smoothie action, and I'm just really goofy, so I can really make it kind of funny too.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'd love to be able to see what that may look like. And again, just anything with you guys practicing getting on camera is super valuable in itself. So for any of the core members, I really do encourage you to just like make a little video just talking a bit about your purpose, or talking about a particular theme that's meaningful for you, or it just kind of expand upon a particular thought process that you feel would be valuable to the audience member. And again, it's practice. Like, believe me, there are times where like I'll film myself out in nature, and I won't even like fully upload the video. Like sometimes it will just be kind of like for me to watch back, but I perform it as if I will be able to upload it, and then I kind of decide, I'm like, okay, or maybe I'll like upload it down the road. There's like one day where I was like doing like qigong and stuff like on like a fallen down log. It was like it wasn't a log, it was like a tree, and I like filmed this whole kind of like flow tree thing on the spot. And I don't know if I'll upload it, like just because it wasn't like it was good practice, but it wasn't like the smoothest of smoothest. But who knows, there might be something there where I might go back and just kind of like re-edit that. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to practice just expressing ourselves and creating this chance for us to be able to just level up that experience of being able to get on camera and being able to just like be in that flow state. And again, that's one of the best ways to do it, is to just kind of like have the support and inspiration of a team, and to just continue to remind yourself that it is just practice. It is just all play. So turn on that camera, see what comes up, and you might be surprised. You never know. But the fact is, all of us have something valuable to share. And as leaders, it's important for us to be able to get familiar with being, ambassadors for our messages. And that means being on camera in some way or another. So cool. Okay. Let's kind of, like I said, I want to be able to share with you what I got planned for my upcoming event for Paradigm Shift London. And then let's talk a little bit, just hitting home the themes of community and the importance of community. And I also want to be able to invite anybody here to talk about a little bit of, upcoming events that they would be able to help organize or like to organize. Because I know even last broadcast, I know like Tyler was talking about like getting some events organized. And again, I know Wolf was talking about some stuff. Brian, we can check in with you as well, and just kind of hear about the different ways that we're, stepping into our role as leaders in our local community and creating those portals, creating those containers for, like I said, charging spiritual batteries, and really just being able to like connect people back to their own heart. That's where we are leading people to. So for those of you who are in London, Ontario, Canada, I'm excited to be able to let you know that we do have a new Paradigm Shift London event that is going to be starting for the first one on May 10th. And then I think we'll probably be doing it every 2 weeks or maybe every 3 weeks. We'll have to see. We're going to start off with one just for starters. And it is going to be called Paradigm Shift Energy Exchange. And this is actually a title that I used for another similar event that I did way back in 2011, which was a little bit different. But for this one, I do really like the name, so we're going to stick with it. And essentially what it is a combination of meditation, discussion, music, and dance. And it's going to be May 10th at 7 to 9 p.m. at the studio called A Space to Grow. And it is on Hamilton Street. And if you go to Paradigm Shift London on Instagram, you will see the event posted there. And it is basically going to start off with like me facilitating a meditation. And then from there, segueing into discussions, sitting down, or some people on chairs, having a discussion about spirituality and consciousness and just like self-empowerment and any of those heart-opening themes. And then from there, moving it into another meditation. So it'd be like kind of like a smaller, like a chill meditation. And then that meditation would segue into dancing, which would be like ecstatic dancing, which ecstatic dancing is all about like free form expression. And this would also be like a substance free event. Like that would be something that we would like make known ahead of time, that this event is like a substance free event. That way, so people aren't showing up like having smoked cannabis beforehand. And that's just to, again, kind of like create the container for that, which is very, very important, very valuable. And then again, from there, it would just be like moving into dance, having the music playing. The music would be just like a playlist created through, digital files and playing off a speaker, playing through a Bluetooth, and just holding that space and then like ending it off with a little short closing meditation. And this whole thing would take place in about 2 hours. So that is what I am going to be doing, and I'm super excited to let you guys know about how that's going to unfold. And again, for anybody in London, the events itself, it's actually going to be a little bit different, and I'm actually really excited about this. So it's going to be an event where it's a pay what you wish between $10 and $20. So again, depending on where you're at in terms of community, for Paradigm Shift communities, you'll hear me explain that, sometimes I really encourage you to create the open-minded discussion events and just have them as free. Just literally have them so that people can get your foot in the door. We did those for again, close to about 10 years here in London, Ontario, Canada. A lot of great things came out of them. And then in about December, I put the meetings on hold because I knew I wanted to change it up and I had to shift my focus around a bit. And now for this, it's taking that same energy and just kind of evolving it. So this is kind of like a 2.0 version. And I'm okay with like the pay what you wish scale between $10 and $20. It's still very feasible. If someone like is totally just not able to make that, we'll still make an opportunity for them to be able to like reach out to me and let me know, and we can get them acquainted rather. And so being able to have that sliding scale is very important because it does like reflect the energy being invested into creating the event, and it goes right back into helping support future events. So having that like sacred commerce is actually very important, and again, a very important lesson for any of the entrepreneurs and community facilitators out there. So if you're thinking about facilitating a community event and you're offering like a yoga class or a guided meditation or some sort of speaking engagement that's going to provide value for someone, absolutely, you are allowed to be able to have people not like be charged for admission, but be invited to be able to support you in the value that you're creating. And if you continue just like put it out for free, that will work for a while, but eventually you're going to want to be able to find a model that is going to be able to like support you in the best way possible, unless you're like already a millionaire, and in which case you can afford to do it for free. But again, sometimes having the price on it is actually valuable for the participant because it allows them to put a little bit more of themselves into it. It's like an energy exchange where it's like literally them investing in themselves. So it's not just like, hey, I'm going to this free event and it's going to be fun and that's it. It's like, no, I'm showing up to this event because this is an investment, because this is meaningful, and because I'm supporting something that is important to me. So yeah, Paradigm Shift Energy Exchange, May 10th, 7 to 9 p.m. Look up Paradigm Shift London on Instagram for that event. And if you want to be able to reserve your spot ahead of time, send me a DM. It is going to be a limited spot, like limited space. Like that's the other thing, is that like I haven't figured out the numbers, but it's probably going to be like no more than like 20 people, give or take, within the space. So I'm super excited to be able to let you guys know that that's happening, that's unfolding. And like I said, I'll be excited to be able to share with you a little bit more about how it went after the event unfolds, and we have our next Paradigm Shift team roundtable broadcast. I'll be sure to update you within that broadcast about how it went in the meantime. So yeah, again, for anybody listening to this, by me simply telling my story, let this be a reminder, the fact that you can do this where you are too. You can organize events where you are too. Maybe you're already involved with these events. Maybe there's already stuff going on. If that's the case, then that's super awesome. And then at which point you can continue to focus on like finding ways to be able to invite people, connect people back to your community. And maybe you do want to organize like something that is going to be like a little bit different. So be it open-minded discussion, be it something similar to an energy exchange event. Straight up, the energy exchange events, I'm creating it in a format so it's like a template so that other people will be able to replicate this format. That's essentially like what I'm doing. So if you feel inspired by the basic format, which again is like meditation, discussion, meditation, dance and music, meditation, then absolutely, please feel free to replicate it where you are in your community. And so I do just want to be able to pass the talking stick around and just invite anybody else to be able to share a little bit about, plans that they have for upcoming community engagements, even whether it's something planned or whether it's just like something that they would like to do in the near future or the far future. I'd love to be able to just hear a little bit more about that from the people here within the broadcast at the roundtable. So would anybody else like to share a little bit more about kind of intentions for future community events and why community events are so important to us? If anybody wants to jump in. Wolf or Brian? I'll let you guys decide who wants to go first.
Panda, you can go ahead first if you'd like to.
All right.
Okay, go for it, Brian.
Okay, why not? Actually, I'm working on and I'm planning on once my seafood gets back, I want to work with him and I want to create a social media presence for our Energetic Arts Center. And then utilize that and morph that into something where I can host events and maybe do like some weekend things or something out of that center to do some different meditation things and some discussions on spirituality and consciousness and things like that. So first step would be, hey, is he okay with this? And then can I hold space here to do those type of things and give him something in return? So it's, because you always got to reciprocate that energy. You always got to. That's what community is about. That is the key part of community is, and why community is great. Just like what we have going on here at Paradigm Shift Central is, the community keeps you motivated. They keep you focused. They keep you, on track, and it gives you, you see what your brothers and sisters are doing, and it lifts you up, and then you in turn want to lift them up and help them, and you all can grow from it. You all get bigger from it. You all get better from it. And you have someone that, people that, that can support you and be there as well as you support them. So I'm really excited about those type of things. I'm thinking I want to try and maybe get a meditation in the park or something outside, because that's really what it's all about is exchanging with nature, being out there, Qigong, really. If you watch on my last video, we switched it up from the studio to outside, because we learn all these things in the studio. We learn in the teacher, we learn inside, but the key is taking it outside and taking it to the outside world, so we can interchange. So we can exchange with that energy, exchange with Gaia and Earth Spirit, and bringing that Earth Chi up, bringing that Heaven Chi down into us, sitting in the sun, those type of things. So those are really what I'm focused on is, and then I feel in the spirit of community is it's a way for me to give back to my Sifu, to my teacher, is, hey, I can build your presence up. I know it's hit and miss with classes, but maybe by doing the social media, we become more on the map for people that are looking for this, looking for something like this and looking for an outlet and don't know where to go. And because it's now social media and the internet, hey, let's utilize that. Let's utilize that tool and be able to promote him and give him back for giving to me.
That's awesome, Brian. Definitely. I love the idea of being able to do that. And again, it's, just by having those events there, the right people will find them when they're meant to find them. And then at the same time, it's also our job, again, to be like ambassadors of those events. And that's where things are a little bit different, but that's where I agree, like with the skill sets that we have through social media, we can really help expand those branches into new dimensions where previously there would be people who wouldn't be hearing about these events, and now we're finding ways to be able to reach them. So I think it's really beautiful to know that again, by you just like increasing your own exposure and your own, network, it's also like linking people into the opportunities for them to be able to take it a step further and to be able to connect with the larger community. So super, super cool stuff, man.
Thank you, definitely.
Awesome, man. So yeah, and definitely hitting upon some key themes there with the power of community. Absolutely, the momentum that we create together. And I agree, just being in the space of inspiration, of knowing that every single day each of us are just like showing up is super, super important. So cool. Okay, well, I know there's more stuff to talk about community. Let's keep passing the talking stick around. Brian, thanks again. Wolf, go ahead. Talk to us a little bit about, again, just maybe expanding on what you were talking about earlier, visions and intentions for coordinating physical community events where you are and what you got in mind.
I would love to share. Let's see. So I talked about the summertime park yoga class. That's something I would love to implement this summer, is just putting out some flyers or marketing online that there's free yoga in the town that I live in, and just bringing breath and movement to everyone or anyone that I can. And something else that I do on a regular basis is moon ceremonies, the new moon and the full moon, and then the quarter moons and the different times in between. We kind of do little check ins and journal and note things down, but it's pretty small right now. It's really just sometimes I'll gather alone, or I'll gather with my mom and maybe one friend or a few friends that come along. And we just do meditation and mantra, and we kind of just do the open discussion thing where we allow the space to really be whatever it needs to be in that moment, whatever needs to come up, whatever needs to be expressed. It's kind of a space for everybody to explore with things that they want to talk about, or maybe don't feel comfortable talking about with other people. They have a space where, it's chill. Everybody kind of is there with the same open mind intention that it's a space for people to get to grow and expand. And it's cool to just be able to witness other people's expression. And so that's been really, really profound for me, being able to facilitate that and just learning how to talk in front of people that even are just friends. Even that was a really big challenge for a long time, just being able to like speak up and feel like I have something to say, feeling confident in the things that I want to share, and knowing that they're going to be well received, that they're going to be just what someone else needed to hear. And the more I started stepping into it and doing it, the more I started to realize that it was what people that came, what they needed to hear or to experience, or the meditation was what they needed to help clear blockages or to see something in a new light. And that really helped to empower me to feel confident in my ability to communicate with community, with people who I'm not super close with. And so that has really branched out in my yoga teaching. It's really helped me to be able to stand in front of a crowd of 15 or 20 people and feel confident in saying what I'm going to say, and knowing that I know how to do what I'm there to do. I know how to express myself in a way where it's going to be well received. And so branching out with more yoga in a more open environment where it will be different people, it will be people coming in and out that I may not already know at all. That'll be really fun. It'll be a little bit of a challenge to have to meet new people at the moment they come, and then maybe never see them again, or see new people come in with them as well, and kind of have that confidence to know that I can guide them and give them what they need, even if they don't know maybe exactly what it is that they're there for. Hopefully, I can shine that light onto them and give them a practice that inspires them to dig deeper. And I found more of my students that have been coming into class starting to dig a little deeper than just, the breath, the movement, the positive quotes or mantra that we may use. They're looking deeper into things, more ancient wisdom, and that has really made me feel really inspired about continuing to branch out and further until I can get to a place of feeling comfortable enough to start a open discussion paradigm shift kind of community. Um, that isn't necessarily the same as the ceremony. I like the idea that Wolf Shield had shared with me before, as having a space for my ceremonies, and also kind of opening a space for something that's not necessarily tied to the moon times, but that's just tied to a gathering where people have open discussions and have creative artistic flow. And I think that would be really cool. And that's kind of like the future goal. For now, I kind of just want to keep taking small steps in the direction that I'm moving in. And I know that eventually that will give me the building blocks that I keep hoping for and keep wanting to see myself manifest more of. And I think that slowly but surely I've been moving in that right direction and moving through the blockages. Lucidity has been an amazing healing restorative time toward almost getting into summertime. It's nice to have that that refreshment that grounds me into moving through the rest of the year with the right direction, starting summer, really taking in all of the vital energy that summer can allow us to move with and opening myself up to that. So that feels really good. And just, I guess, staying more consistent with my moon ceremonies would be something that is something I would like to see happening over the next few months. Very consistently, I would like to have them at least twice a month. That would be really awesome, even if it's just me gathering alone or documenting it. But either way, that's something that I would like to see become very, very consistent. And it's been growing more and more, and that just makes me feel really good. So that's what I have in mind
Yeah.
for right now, for manifestation for community work. Just showing up to my yoga classes with as much awareness and presence with what I'm speaking and what I'm sharing as possible, and really allowing myself to be a channel for that information and not letting myself get stale and just going with the same old flow and doing the same thing. So those are my current goals for community as of right now.
That's awesome. That's wonderful to hear, Wolf, and definitely with what you said there, reflecting this very powerful theme that by us choosing to kind of like step into this role as teachers is a very powerful way to like call us into more of our potential, because it creates again like this container where it's like, okay, like you're going to be doing a class on this date, so that means that you have the opportunity to be able to show up for it. That means that you have to kind of like invest in yourself ahead of time. That means that you have to like practice preparing. And I'm experiencing this in my own way with waking up with Wolf. Bless me. And I mean that, like again, like that in itself, like doing 5 broadcasts through the week in the morning. There are some mornings where I'm just like, okay, what is my message? What do I want to be able to bring here? And then sometimes instead of just like panicking and being like, oh no, I don't know what to do, sometimes the way that we show up as a leader is by kind of like serving as the conduit, where you can kind of just be like, oh, like what message needs to come through, and then like the voice of the universe can kind of like bring its message through you, which is like a very powerful thing to kind of think about as a teacher, where it's not literally just like you making things up on the spot, but it's more so you practicing getting into a flow state that allows the message to come through that is meant for that is meant to be shared in that moment. Again, it's kind of a balance of both. You don't want to show up completely empty-handed, but at the same time, you can kind of trust that simply by showing up, the right teachings will come through when you're in that centered space. So Wolf, yeah, huge shout out to you, and you're getting some bonus love from Free Spirit Living in the chat. That's our new friend Katie. So thank you, Katie, for saying yay Wolf in the chat. And yeah, absolutely, Wolf. Like, do you feel like a noticeable shift in just kind of like your personal like identity as a leader, just over these periods that you've been like getting more involved with teaching, and maybe even just express like how that's kind of like shifted your own perception of yourself and your own your own confidence even?
Yeah, definitely. Um, I wouldn't necessarily call myself like a timid person, but over time, I start to get more comfortable and open up around people. At first, I'm kind of like shy, but a little outgoing, but very reserved for the most part. And I never really looked at myself as the kind of person that would be a leader or a guide or someone who is sharing information that people were receiving and growing from within themselves. I always kind of just looked at myself as a passerby or kind of person, just kind of quiet and just watching from the sidelines and just witnessing the world go around me. And I was never one for like well, I wouldn't say never, but over the past few years, I haven't really been one for confrontation, or really, if someone hurts my feelings, kind of just shutting the door and shutting off my emotions instead of actually standing up for myself or communicating or just being upfront with how I feel. And I see that come up in so many little situations that are very subtle, but I've started to become much more aware of when that happens, when I'm not standing up and speaking when I need to speak. And since I've started stepping into the role of someone who does speak in front of others and kind of has to have, even if you're not confident, putting on like a smile and really embodying, I guess someone who is kind of translucent or chameleon like, and kind of just go with the flow and make it work. You kind of have to be able to put that front up, that like, you do know what you're talking about, even if you don't feel like you do. And so I started doing that. I was always really nervous to just speak in front of people, and sometimes it almost made me want to cry. I would get so nervous, and it was something that I was like, wow, I never thought it would affect me so much. But when I started teaching yoga, I started realizing like how the boundaries that I was stepping across to become a yoga teacher, to achieve that dream, I really had to push myself to be comfortable in front of speaking in front of a crowd and really showing up, even when I felt like maybe I wasn't on my best foot that day, and I don't know what to say. Being able to show up with that smile and work through it, by the end of class I always felt so much better. I felt like just pushing myself beyond that boundary taught me that I really do have the ability to show up and share. And when I just pushed myself through those first few hardships, I started to find my flow and my footing, and I really started to just open myself up, and it became so much easier, and over time it became natural and very fluent and water like, and it became easy. I didn't feel nervous anymore when new students would come in. I kind of was a little bit nervous to have a new student, but I had that confidence that like I've done this and I know what I'm doing. I'm standing up here and I'm presenting myself, and I'm presenting this to my students, and I've done it many times. I can do it again today. And every time I always come out feeling better than I came in when I'm having a rough day. And it really has shown me the power of just a yoga practice, what it can do to transform your life, and being a guide for students who's teaching yoga poses or teaching the philosophy of yoga. It just takes it that much of a step further for you in your own practice, to really just feel connected to what you're doing. Like you have a deeper sense of meaning within what you're doing, because you're sharing it with someone, so you want that depth to be there. And so stepping into a role as a teacher has really made me start to ask myself, what do I want to be when I show up, now that I've gotten through all those fearful stages and I have the strength behind myself to move forward and share this wisdom. How do I want to show up? How do I want to present it? And how can I actually make it, presentable in a way where it's applicable for people's lives? And once I started asking myself those questions and just allowing the answer to come through, the waking up with wolf meditations have really been making such a huge difference in my classes. When I do them in the morning before class, if I wake up early enough to get the meditation in before I go to class, those days are just absolutely incredible, because I'm so just clear. I'm concise on that question of, where do I want to be today? Who do I want to step into the world as? Who do I want? What is my purpose in this moment, in this day? And it really, bringing that forth in my classes has been making such a huge difference. My students love that all this information is coming through in such a way that flows so smoothly and so well, and they're receiving it very well. And so I'm greatly appreciative of you showing up for doing Waking Up with Wolf, because it's made an incredible difference in just everything in my life overall, but definitely in my leadership skills or communication skills in front of my community. It has really allowed me to step even further into that role where I'm even more confident in speaking what I speak, and opening myself, knowing that the information will just come through. It's really been coming through in such a beautiful way.
That's awesome. Thank you. That was very, very well said as well, Wolf. Thank you. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing the fact that, again, like Waking Up with Wolf has been helping make a difference in your morning routine. And again, just knowing that like anything that like, you know, the vibes from one broadcast just kind of get passed on to the next teaching, on to the next teaching. And who knows, you know, in the same way, like I might inspire you, you're going to inspire a student, and then that student's going to go home and they're going to have like a good conversation with their partner or something like that. So it's again, just going back to the idea of really acknowledging that by each of us individually showing up, we create this space and we create this path that really allow others to be able to do the same. And I know even just by you just communicating that, Wolf, I was seeing in the live chats on Facebook, it was a comment from Alicia, who's not in the YouTube comment, just on the Facebook comment. I've been jumping around there, and again, she was just acknowledging that like getting out of her comfort zone and being able to practice public speaking is definitely something that she's working on too. So again, by us coming here and recording this broadcast, literally just by you sharing your story, without like with certainty, there are going to be people that are just going to be like, yeah, okay, cool, like I can do this too, this is inspiring me too. And again, for anybody listening to this, absolutely, like you all have that leadership role inside of you. It is like a seed, so when we nurture it together, it grows. And when you have that confidence to kind of go outside your comfort zone, you'll be able to experience it. And I think as a leader, it's about being able to find that authentic version of yourself, while also still, again, being able to see it as practice, being able to see it as investment for yourself, and being able to find that balance between like a playfulness and a seriousness at the same time, which is just something that's like, again, that's I feel that's not just a me thing, even though I bring that into my broadcast. I feel that's very much an any type of human thing when they allow themselves to be, again, in that place of like the childlike heart, where it's kind of like carefree without careless, is some of the things that we say. So yeah, Wolf, huge shout out for you for rocking it, and thank you again for coming onto the broadcast and sharing it, and for just sharing your story and inspiring people even further. We're helping create a, you know, some pretty big waves here, and definitely this world needs more leaders like yourself. So thank you again. Cool. All right. So let's I did want to be able to check in with Tyler, but from there I want to be able to move it into the end of the broadcast, and we'll just go around once more, just expressing any gratitude for the team and for the people listening into this. And as a bonus, I actually wanted to be able to see, since we usually end these broadcasts with some sort of like little meditation, if Brian Panda, if you would actually be able to, if you would like to do some sort of closing meditation for us before we wrap up the broadcast. Just checking in with Brian real quick. Brian, would you be interested in doing something of that sort?
Sure. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Okay, cool, sweet. So yeah, just kind of think about it now. You can just kind of like get a framework in your mind of what you might want that to be. Again, just, you know, something to connect us, something to inspire us, something to just, you know, end it off with a little bit of intention and embodiment. And passing it over to Tyler. Tyler, just on the themes of again, intentions for future community events, things like that. Give us any updates that you would like to share. I know in the past Team Roundtable, there were early talks of you getting things going with your buddies in your community. Be it that or anything else, go ahead and let us know where things are.
Awesome. So honestly, you know what's funny is that what it's looking like is it's looking like a virtual meetup. I was able to connect with somebody in the Netherlands, believe it or not, who we just vibe strongly together, and another individual in Texas right now, who I'm looking to see if they would like to join Paradigm Shift as well. And since I have good rapport with them, I might even start my own little virtual thing with them. One in Texas really likes, I can tell he likes medicine, certain plant medicines. And, you know, he just has an amazing vibe. Like just some of his energy that I'm picking up is pretty good. And then you have the guy in Netherlands who just an open heart. He's a Cancer as well, and really good with time lapses. And I feel like he can be kind of an asset as well. And locally, I'm gonna have to start this thing grassroots. This is gonna be. It's looking like it's me right now, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I just went to my car and got my practice bow staff because I was just itching to do it for some reason. All this talk about it, I'm over here now
in my living room. Holding your bow staff right now?
I am, and I'm doing a
Cool.
couple twirls. It's really not a bow staff though. It's like a hiking stick that it's way heavier than a bow staff, but I guess it's good to practice. It's only
It's a
55
flow
inches and
staff.
it's a flow staff.
It's a
It's
flow
got
staff.
some
If it's a
wicked
broomstick,
spins in it.
if you can
It
spin
looks
it,
like
it's a flow staff.
yeah. It's funny. I actually did use a broomstick before I felt
Perfect.
inspired to get one of these things. But I totally look like Gandalf just walking outside. I've got this like this kind of throw thing. It's like this gray. I'm Gandalf the Gray for sure. Um, yeah, just kind of laughed at myself before I came on the mic here. It was pretty good. But yeah, it's looking like it's me right now. But if I can keep, like, I honestly should see some of the faces when I explain what exactly paradigm shift is. They're just like, no way, like there's hope,
Oh.
So if I can keep doing that, and people can keep having that response, which I'm sure we can get, we will have something in no time.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, like you said, I'm gonna keep working on my visuals. Keep working on my flow. I'd love to do some outside in nature shaman type work. And I love what you said about having that childlike element of being carefree without being careless,
Mm-hmm.
right? Perfect. I love that. I feel that resonates with me because I'm an Aries, and with that comes a childlike quality that just will never go away. So I just want to keep that going. And then, of course, as the next 2 months pass, I don't even know who I'm going to be next month. First time I did that medicine, I felt like I had the power of like sitting bull within me. Like I felt like I became a chief. Like I have no idea what that was, but wow. So I'm looking forward to 3 4 days in a row of this. And I think from there, like this is just going to catapult. Like you talk about momentum being a huge deal. Uh, I think without even knowing it, this is what's happening with all of us. I think we all have a great momentum building here, and a couple of other good mentors I have, they like to tell me that, it's not so much the tortoise or the hare, it's just constant movement that'll get you there. Wow, that rhymed. Whoa. Whoa.
Must be true. Must
All
be true.
right. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just really flowing with this stuff right now.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's good,
I
man.
feel
I'm happy. Yeah, no, that's actually like doing any sort of flow movement while practicing actual like flowetry, like verbal poetry is actually like another practice in itself. And you'll find that space where you're just like, "Oh my god, like I'm rhyming without even trying." And then it'll just happen and you'll just be like in that space. So, yeah, man. And then you'll be ready to record some hot tracks for a Paradigm Shift debut CD album EP coming out winter 2019. So,
Oh, really? Because
maybe. We'll see.
I have something written already. No.
Perfect.
I do need to work on it though.
Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. But yeah, dude. Again, with kind of focusing in on the community stuff, and we'll get things segued here and wrapping up the broadcast. But we can talk more about it later within our inner circle. I think for you, just without having to rush it, focus on yourself, know your own energy bandwidth, know what the timing is going to be like that's going to serve you best, but definitely start looking for those places where you might be able to have those meetings. And I know you've already kind of been looking into that, but keep your eyes open for a space that's going to be like, ooh, like if I'm going to host an event, like that would be the space. So, and then from there, again, it might just be kind of, set something up a week or 2 weeks in advance, invite a few friends, we'll put up some posts about it and just kind of see what happens from there, and then you maintain the consistency of it. But yeah, man, in terms of like location, do you got any foresight on that already?
I've got more of like forest site. I kind of want to have it out in nature.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but there are plenty of good meetup. There's like libraries. I mean, we can
yeah.
whisper about consciousness.
Yeah,
But
you could even be able to like organize like some sort of like Saturday hiking group, hiking consciousness shifting group type thing.
that's a
Bring
great
bring
idea.
your own flow staff type thing.
Flow staff, man. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a great idea though. Like some type of hiking. If I could clear up some
Yeah.
weekend time, even if I could find some shifters that don't mind a little during the week action. I usually my
Mm-hmm.
schedule right now favors little open time in the morning, Monday through Friday, into some of the early afternoon. So hey, it's broadcasts like these that are gonna get these people. I have the places in mind. It's the people that will come eventually.
Yeah, yeah. And again, we just gotta get the message out there. And again, just another quick idea, and this goes for like anybody, but yeah, again, some sort of like hiking like event could be cool. Another thing that you can also do is like a garbage pickup event if you literally just want to get some
Oh,
people together. So it's like hiking and picking up garbage. Like I know a lot of people are familiar with like the trash bag kind of meme challenge that's been going around, and I think that's beautiful to see. That's a super super powerful meme to be able to help facilitate within culture. But yeah,
trash tag.
that can totally just be again another like type of event for people if they're just looking to be able to make an impact in their local community, help out nature, and also just be able to simultaneously multitask by being able to bring together a group of like-hearted people, and kind of also have like a little bit of a sit down conversation meditation within that all. So yeah, again, the possibilities, there's lots of them to play with. So
I'm
cool.
loving it.
Cool, man. Sweet. All right. Well, with that said, I think we're pretty much ready to kind of begin wrapping up the broadcast. Again, I just want to be able to thank everybody for being here, for all the core team members, those of you listening into the future, for all of the shifters, all of you everywhere. Again, if you're listening to this broadcast and you're someone who's intentionally helping assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity, compassion, and personal development, then please, by all means, consider yourself a shifter or a light guardian. Kind of those terms are synonymous. And again, be sure to check out more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. If you haven't yet, please feel free to check out the Patreon where you can contribute a monthly donation. And when you do that, you also get the 25% discount key for items at the Quest item shop, including items such as the Light Guardian crystals, which I'll just show on screen there for those of you who are watching. That's like a pretty freaking chunky one. And of course, you can check out those items and more at questitemshop.com. Be sure to subscribe to Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes and go to Paradigm Shift Central, where you can also find the past broadcasts on MP3, and check out the team map to be able to link up to the people who you heard within this broadcast, who is again Tyler, aka Vibe Shaman, Panda, Brian, aka Ascended Panda, and also Zai or Wolf, aka Apothecary Fairy as well. And we'll post their immediate Instagram links into the show notes after the broadcast as well. And stay tuned for our broadcast next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 3 of Leading the Shift, which is going to be with our guest Vanessa Fernandez, who has spent a lot of time literally touring the United States doing free hugs. And she's actually written a book about it called The Hug Army. And so we're going to be talking a bit about her experience, how that's transformed her life, how she's opened up so many important connections and changed the lives of others, what it meant to be able to write a book. And again, knowing that by you listening to that broadcast, it's going to inspire you to be able to know that the action that you make is going to make a difference where you are as well. So stay tuned for that. Again, that will be the following Thursday. And then the Thursday after that will be Paradigm Shift Dream Class also. And be sure to follow me at Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, and as well check out our new account at Paradigm Shift Central 96 on Instagram too. And yeah, if you're watching this on Facebook, please feel free to jump over to the YouTube and smash that like button and tell your friends all about Paradigm Shift. And if you want to be able to connect deeper with the Paradigm Shift Central core team, which is again kind of our inner circle, it's a private community where we are part of like the group where we're working on conscious media together. We have our own like Instagram like boost group and a whole bunch of other cool stuff that we're developing. Go to paradigmshiftcentral.com and follow the signal to be able to apply for your shifter pass, or you can go right to paradigmshiftcentral.com/shifter pass, fill out that application, and yeah, that will be your first step towards being able to get synced up with the core team. And consider that as an investment for those of you who feel really called to be able to receive the value of being able to connect with the community and also level up your skills as a conscious media creator and a leader and as your archetype as a shifter. So for everybody watching this, wherever you are, whenever you are, thank you again for all of the things that you do, By tuning into this broadcast, you are here to help change the world. And again, receive this broadcast as spiritual medicine, like plugging in a spiritual battery to help inspire you to keep doing the things that you're doing to make a difference where you are. Again, your personal development, your art that you're making, your acts of kindness, your entrepreneurship, your media that you're creating, all of it and any of it, your healing. It is all important. So thank you for showing up and for being an equally important part of this bigger story that we are experiencing together as collective consciousness, as the dream awakening to itself. So go team shift, yeah. So let's pass the talking stick around one more time real quick, and then we're going to pass over to Brian, and Brian's going to do a closing meditation, and then we'll conclude the broadcast. Just any chance for expressing any gratitude. So again, thank you to everyone. My gratitude is deeply expressed to all of you tuning in and for supporting this broadcast in all the exciting ways that you do, and by continuing to carry the shift with you as well. And go ahead, either Tyler or Wolf, and Brian will save you for third, and then we'll pass it off to you for the segue. Wolf, did you just want to express any closing gratitude? By all means, go ahead. A closing message for the shifters. Go ahead.
I would love to. Well, thank you so much for holding the space for us.
You're welcome.
And thank you for showing up for the Waking Up with Wolf every day. It's been something that has just been so healing for me, and it's been inspiring so much beauty in my life. And so I'm super grateful for you doing all that you do and creating the waves that you're creating. And I'm so grateful to this community that I've been getting closer with, starting to slowly branch out and talk with you guys more and get to know you guys. And it's been really wonderful making these connections and having these beautiful friendships start to bloom and grow, and getting to get connected with all of this conscious media that you guys are out there creating has really been inspiring me a lot. So I'm so thankful that I'm getting to experience this community and all of the other shifters that are around, the friends I haven't met yet. I'm so excited to connect with you all in the future, and I'm just grateful to even be here, be a part of all of this, have the opportunity to show up for this practice and share my words of wisdom and share my experience and grow from that and help others to be inspired as well. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you all for joining in as well.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Wolf. And it's wonderful for you to be able to be a part of this circle as well. I'm glad that synchronicity has brought us together in many different events up to this point. So happy to have you here as well. Cool. Okay, and Tyler, did you want to express any closing gratitude before we wrap up the broadcast? Go right ahead.
Yes, definitely. I'm beyond thankful, and beyond thankful for clearing my throat, because that would have been a serious block in my communication. Anyway, so just this has been awesome. I love getting closer with you guys, and just really get an overall feel of just support. Even if you're doing good, support. If you're doing bad, support. If you're kind of in the middle, support. You guys are here, and I appreciate that, and I want to be there for you as well. So, and to those watching, you are absolutely awesome. I hope this inspires you to get out and kind of branch out even just a little bit, grow a little flower. Imagine yourself as a tree, right? You've been rooting, you've been growing. Let's see some flowers. What do you have? Everything. You're amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again, Tyler. Appreciate you being here, man. And yeah,
Can I show my Gandalf looking self real quick? Do you guys
yes is my yes.
So we've got staff, we've got like this robe thing, and
dope, dude. And you got your button.
And the button. Do you see the Bruce Lee?
The Bruce Lee one,
look,
classic.
Look at that gratitude.
Big smiles, man.
We thank you.
Oh. Let's see that flow staff.
Oh.
I just want, dude, that's a nice flow staff, man. Oh, that's dope, dude. It's got grip on it and everything.
Good, yeah. It hurts nice. Though. It's cracked me a few times. Not on the head, thankfully, but you might think so. Definitely on the knee. Definitely on the, catches the sides of the shorts. So I gotta like maybe wear some jeggings or something. That'd be fun, right? No.
Oh, I'm glad you're having fun, man. You're slowly evolving into your natural like Jedi Yoda version of yourself.
That's right. So. I'm serious about the Darth Maul and
We're gonna
Mace
get you
Windu.
that lightsaber, man. Don't you worry. It's
It's
only a matter of
happening.
time.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Thank you again, Tyler. Brian, we'll pass it over to you, and I'll just say like one comment after you're done with your gratitude, and then we'll officially pass it over for the closing meditation. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for hosting. First of all, gratitude to Brendan for putting this together and bringing us together. Gratitude for the team. I've made some amazing connections with some amazing people, and it's growing every day. Grateful for that growth and being able to be part of something bigger than myself, bigger than everything, and contributing to changing the world and being a part of that. So I'm very, very grateful for all that. Grateful for all of you listening, watching now. Grateful for all you in the future watching. I do want to send a special shout out. I found out my brother from another mother, fellow Halloween baby, Chris, is watching this live right now. So I just wanted to give him a special shout out. So um, yeah, that's what it out. It's awesome to be part of something like this.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Brian, and yes, bonus shout out to Chris. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Thank you so much for being here. And I just did want to give just two more quick shout outs to some of our newest team members for the core team. Shout out to Dan Soltz. He's got an awesome Instagram account with some amazing digital art. Expect to see more from him in the future. And also shout out to our friend Danny Leonardo. You'll hear some of her music as the opening and outro to this broadcast. So again, for everybody here, if you're just like, dude, this broadcast is awesome, I want to be able to connect with more people like this, go to paradigmshiftcentral.com and follow the signal to apply for your shifter pass. And again, just stick around, comment, and just like hang out on our Instagram. You can message any of us on there as well. So thank you again for tuning in. We'll pass it over to Brian for a closing intentional meditation, and then we'll say our final farewells for the broadcast, and then and then we'll be done after that, and the story continues. So Brian, passing the talking stick right back over to you. Go ahead and lead us into your closing meditation, and thank you again.
Cool. Thank you. Cool. All right. So let's get yourself comfortable. Get yourself into where you can be in nice, relaxed, and your muscles can kind of just sit and relax. You're in a comfortable space, whatever works best for you. And then let's kind of get some good breaths in. We're going to breathe in. Let's breathe all the way down to right below our navel. It's a place called the Dantian, or the energy field. Breathe all the way down into that. The more breath we can create, the more oxygen we can breathe in, the better it is for us. And then exhale, relax. Breathe in that fresh, cleansing energy all the way down to that Dantian. And then we'll exhale. And each exhale, relax a little bit. Let your stress kind of rinse off of you. And then we breathe in. One more, all the way down. Exhale. We're going to do a little something that I like to do with my Qigong and meditation. Is we're going to grow some roots from the base of our feet, and we don't have to do anything. We can just relax. So those roots are there, and we're going to let those uncurl into the earth. And as they uncurl and burrow into the earth, they're going to bring up that fresh, cleansing earth chi up through our legs. And it's going to breathe in with each breath. It kind of comes up a little bit more. It comes up past the ankles, up our calves, up to our knees. We're relaxing. Our breath is steady. Every exhale, we come in a little bit more into a calm, peaceful state. Then we're going to breathe in, and that energy keeps crawling its way up past our knees, up our thighs, and then it's going to reach the base of our spine. From the base of the spine, we are going to grow another larger root all the way down into the center of the earth, so we can send that energy and give a nice pathway for that energy to flow and reciprocate through, because there's an endless abundance source of earth chi that we can bring up. So we're bringing that up through our feet and letting it relax and release back down to that root from the base of our spine. We're just going to breathe and let that kind of go. Breathe in, exhale, breathe in. Each exhale, a little more stress goes out of the body, a little more tension goes out of the muscles, and you relax and settle in a little more. Then we're going to go into the center of our head, right? If you just kind of draw the lines right above your ears and right in between the brow, the center of the head, where the pineal gland actually resides. There's actually a space right there where you can sit and be in complete peace and solitude. You can be aware of everything that's going on. You can be aware of the energy coming up through your legs and down your spine. You can be aware of the birds chirping in the distance, but you realize they're not where you're at. Where you're at is nice, calm, peaceful. And it's you, and you're relaxed. And as we relax this time now, we're going to breathe in and breathe that energy again down to the dantian. Right. And in the dantian, we're going to store some energy up as we exhale. Breathe in again. A little more energy adds into that dantian. And we're going to just take a couple breaths and do the same thing. Let's do 3 more breaths. Letting that energy fill up, filling our dantian. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Breathe in and exhale. And this time when you exhale, release at the dantian and let that energy go to the base of your spine where that earth chi is coming around. And it's going to combine with that earth chi and create some life chi. The two forces together combine and create a little spark there at your spine. And as you breathe in, that chi comes up the back of your spine, all the way up. Anywhere you feel tension, you kind of just stop and let that relax. Let go, let it free, and then breathe in. It can come up a little bit more. And each time you see tension, you just stop and relax and breathe in a couple times until finally you get up, come up over your head, all the way back down the front of your face, down the nose, and we're going to put the tongue to the roof of our mouth to complete the circle on the circuit. And that energy can now just continue what we call a small circle around our body, creating a nice flow of chi. So now we have that earth chi coming up through our legs. We have that life chi circulating through our core. Each breath in adds a little more energy to that circle. Each exhale out, we relax a little bit more, release the tension. Breathe in, breathe out. Let that, see how that feels. See how that relaxes you. Feel that chi, feel that energy moving through your body, relaxing you. Breathe in, exhale. And this time when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in all directions to the dantian. We're going to breathe in, all of our pores cleansing in as we come in. And then as we exhale and breathe out, we're going to exhale in all directions and push any stress, push any toxicity, any tension, any negativity out. And then we breathe in, bring in that fresh, clean energy, cleansing in all directions, all our pores to the dantian. And then exhale, release, and push out in all directions. 1 more breath in. Breathe into the dantian, all directions. Exhale, expand that energy out, cleanse out your pores, cleanse out your spirit, cleanse out your space. Breathe in and just check in how you feel as you settle in and relax. And let's just do a couple more breaths before we come back in. Seeing and checking in how we feel with each breath, how the energy feels, how we feel a little bit different than maybe before we started. Maybe we're a little calmer, a little more focused. A little more in with ourselves. Let's do one more big breath, as big as we can. Breathe in. Fill the lungs all the way up to the bottom, and then we exhale. Empty the lungs. And then we can open our eyes, wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes, kind of shake out any last bit of tension we have as we relax. Stretch our neck, and then offer gratitude to everybody holding space here today and everybody watching in the future. Namaste.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. It was very, very nice to be able to just sit back and experience that and be a part of that. And again, you know, I think what's cool is that, like, when we really begin to understand the dynamics of the breath work and the breath practice, we can understand that it's like, oh, this isn't just something that helps me feel relaxed, but like this is something that's practically allowing me to kind of, you know, almost like taking a shower for your body, but it's like you use your breath as the soap. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I read some articles because they say, you know, DMT basically produced in the pineal gland.
Right.
But conscious breathing is how you harvest the DMT. So the more you focus on your breath, the more you're consciously aware of your breathing, the more you're able to harvest that DMT and become more aware and spiritual and rooted.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you again, and thank you again for anybody tuning into this. Brian, any closing words for the shifters tuned into this broadcast, other than what you've already said?
Keep that vibe alive, man. Keep those vibrations going, and stay at it. Get a routine going. Get in, whether it's waking up with Wolf, whether it's your own thing, whether it's your own meditation. Get something going. Even if it's just 5 minutes when you start, get it a daily routine, and you'll notice differences, I promise, and it'll pay dividends.
Yeah. No, I definitely echo that the key to your transformation is consistency. You know, like it's literally something where you want to be doing it essentially every day, even if it is 5 minutes, or maybe if it's like something so simple where if it's literally just having like a moment of mindful breath at the top of each hour, something as simple as that. But absolutely, creating a routine for yourself, creating a little morning ritual, creating an evening ritual, those little things can definitely go a very, very far way. So, and of course, also be sure to check out the Qigong with Panda as well for some more inspirational, instructional videos as well. So check out Ascended Panda on YouTube and also on Instagram to be able to connect with that, and tune in for more of that through ParadigmShiftCentral.com. So cool. All right. Well, with that said, thanking everyone again. Thank you, Brian, very, very much for being able to guide us through that closing meditation. Thank you, Tyler, for rocking the flow staff as a badass cosmic wizard that you are. Thank you for Wolf for continuing to grow through all of the opportunities before you and stepping into your potential as a community facilitator and as a leader and just as an awesome all-around individual, as we all are, simply just allowing ourselves to shine our authentic light. That's the true quest. So again, just reminding and thanking everyone so much for being here. Please feel free to drop some comments down below if you're watching this in the future. Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to check out more at ParadigmShiftCentral.com, where you can connect with myself and other shifters on the team. Be sure to check out the team map. Be sure to subscribe to Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes, and be sure to keep it shifty. So on behalf of myself and all the other shifters here and all the other shifters tuned in and worldwide, fellow friends, please feel free in joining me in saying farewell and until next time, and sending some good vibes to all the people tuned into this. So go ahead, everyone, make some noise and send some good vibes. Go ahead. Woo, 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 woo. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome.
Yeah. Do it.
All right. Thank you again, everyone. And I'm just gonna bring your guys' microphones down real quick. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. This has been Brendan, aka Skull Babylon. You've been listening to Paradigm Shift Central, and we will see you again next time. Keep it shifty, and be sure to check out the Patreon. Much love. Special bonus thank you again to our friend Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this podcast. Be sure to check out more of her work in the show notes for the YouTube video. Thank you, Danny.